I talked about on the drive up to McKenna and Marshall's wedding.
And welcome everyone to this episode of D&D. We are on episode 40. And I would like to welcome everyone in, and the party is with me tonight. How's everyone doing?
Let's get it on.
Ready to die.
If you would like to tell the story, Miranda, that you were looking at me for cutting you off on, you can do so in front of all of our fans.
I fucking will. So,
Do it.
as we were driving to our friend's wedding, Billy's wife and I were discussing Billy, and I told her about this one time before they were engaged and stuff, when I went out to karaoke with a coworker, and that coworker's like brother and his friend or something. And at the karaoke night, I was drunk. I was drinking with my friend, having a grand old time. This brother was supposed to be our ride home, and then he kept grabbing my ass. So I got nervous because I didn't want to ride home with this person. And I texted the theater chat, and I was like, hey guys, I'm really drunk, and I'm also very nervous because this guy is being really gropey, and he's supposed to be my ride home. So who comes to get me but Billy? Not only does Billy walk into the crowded Friday night bar, but he walks into the crowded Friday night bar in pajama pants, Simpson slippers, and a giant robe, and strides over and is like, hey, you ready to go? Just cheerful as can be.
I'd expect nothing less of Billy.
Tall Billy in his Simpson slippers to the rescue, and he had to pull over on the way to the apartment for me to puke.
That's our
it.
hero.
We were talking about Billy being a hero.
For us.
I just appreciate that you got me to pull over to puke and didn't do it in the car, because that would have been unfortunate.
I really didn't want to throw up in your car like right after you'd rescued me from the groper.
Yeah, that would have been cold.
I needed to like reserve tall robed slippered Billy for potential future rescue missions.
Of course.
Can't puke in his car. But that's my Billy story of the day.
Billy the hero. So, thanks for that, Miranda. It was a very good story about Billy. It made us all feel good that Billy is playing a version of himself in this campaign as Vega, and Vega seems to be quite the hero himself.
He tries.
From time to time. Let's see. So, before we get into the recap, would anyone like to plug anything? Perhaps something that is on the Google Play Store?
Google Play Store, you say?
I did.
Yeah.
Well, for anyone that may have joined in for my Extra Life Game Day Marathon last week, where I developed a game live on Twitch, it is now available on Google Play. It is called Tappy for Extra Life. It's TAPPY for Extra Life. And it's just a fun little game. There's a lot of things that I still want to improve on it, but I'm pretty happy that I was able to create that in less than 24 hours. Took me a little bit longer to get it on Google Play because Google is Google and there's got a lot of hoops to jump through, but just check it out and have some fun.
Check it out and hit the donate page and donate some money to a great cause with Extra Life. Play the game too, because the game is great. It's addicting. It's simple and easy to pick up and play. And
what's the name one more time?
Tappy for Extra Life. I'll post it in chat.
Oh, is it not for iPhone?
No, Google Play Store.
It is, it's Android only right now. I still need to build it for iOS. It was
I'll buy it when you do.
It's a free game, so there's no purchase required. But with me being an Android user, it was kind of hard for me to test it. Outside of my environment. So, but also just an update on the funds that we were able to raise. We were able to get $617, and still taking donations until the end of the year.
Fantastic. That was awesome.
That is awesome.
No facial hair shaved or eyebrows coming off this year.
No, I hadn't really thought about it yet at the time. And you know me, I usually reserve that for when I hit the goal. So the goal is $1,000 this year, and if we hit that, I'll still do something. But maybe we can do a poll of what I should do.
I veto the beard because it was just a whole different person.
Oh yeah, my wife does.
Dunking booth.
That too.
Dunking booth.
Dunking booth? You want to rent a dunking booth?
Yeah, like who has a dunking booth? Do you just have one of those in your closet somewhere?
Maybe someone we know does. I don't know. We know a lot of weird theater people.
I think you should dye his hair a fun color.
Ooh.
I'm down with that.
Ooh, I wanted like a purple streak in his beard.
Dye your beard pink like Zizix.
I mean, I could go on Zizix.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cosplays.
Do a full Zizix cosplay.
I really enjoy this.
I could do that. I mean, I'd have to shrink 3 feet, but to be realistic. But
you just take your shoes off and waddle around with your knees and your holes in the soles.
Yeah.
We could make you just tiny legs, stuff like pants full of socks and make them into legs, and then we could just tie them around.
Clara and I will come over with hair dye, and it's gonna be a great time.
All right. Well, then you guys need to bolster that donation pool up, and
FYI, I've never dyed there before,
once we hit $1,000, then that's what we'll do.
$383, guys. This is attainable.
It's 100%. It really is.
Yay! This will be the best fun.
We have till the end of the year. We can do it.
Let's wait until Christmas time.
Oh, then we can have
all of his holiday
dress him like a little elf.
Yes.
Yeah, then I can get a hat. Have a big Christmas Zizix.
Oh, I'm gonna braid jingle bells into your beard. It's gonna be so cute.
Well, I actually trimmed my beard the other day, so it's not as long. So
you just strain really hard every day and grow it back.
All I need is a belt of dwarf, and I'm good. But we all know how that went.
Yeah, the Belted Dwarven kind will have to keep Andy away from it. Andy will be joining here shortly once he gets off of his what is he doing now? He's doing a murder mystery event in Branson during this time.
Nerd.
That's super cool. I don't know why you're calling him a nerd.
He's
That's
getting
rude.
Paid while being a nerd, so
Yeah. And speaking about being paid for being a nerd, thank you, Chris, for the 8 months. I appreciate it, man. You guys really don't have to.
Yeah, it's cool.
You owe him now.
Well, with that, is there anything else you guys would like to plug?
I would like to note that I just got up to 192 on Tappy for Extra Life, so that is my new
Jesus.
record.
I only got up to 117. It's deceptively hard at some points.
It is. But no plugs. I'm just excited to jump on into this.
Okay. All right. So, if there's nothing else, we will recap what happened last we left off. The party was making their way to Bryn Shander, and they were devising exactly what their next path of where they were going next. And when hearing a little bit of a rumor about where maybe Oral may call her home out in the sea of moving ice, and rumor of a talking whale, I believe, in bustling into the tavern comes a spindly woman who was rescued by the caretakers, or Silas's Angels, whichever name you prefer, earlier in the campaign, outside of Dugan's Hole. And she came bearing news that Dugan's Hole had been completely destroyed by a Chardalyn dragon that had been released supposedly by the Duergar. And with that information, everyone kind of looked to each other and they said, well, do we care about Dugan's Hole? And there was a consensus no, from what I remember.
Yeah, fuck that place.
And then from that, I believe you guys started to head towards Goodmead after being guilted into thinking, well, maybe we should try to fight this thing and make it out to Dugan's Hole. And you had seen that the dragon had moved, and you saw this large Chardelin dragon flying around with its breath weapon, firing down on another town that was closer than Dugan's Hole, Goodmead. As you started to make your way hastily towards Goodmead to save the people that lived there, you come into the refugees that had already fled. What few of them had survived. And with a little bit of conversation there and figuring out exactly what was happening, decided to escort them back to Bryn Shander to safety, and alerting the marshal and the town speaker, Duvessa, that this was happening, and to send messengers out to the other towns to try to alert them before doom was coming. And as time started to pass while you were inside of town, more and more people started to dwindle in. People from East Haven and now people from Caer Dineval starting to trickle in now. I believe Duvessa Shane gave a very nice speech of reassurance that the path ahead of them will be a hard path to take, but it is attainable. And in a symbolic gesture, the party decided to release the Mythalar, the summer star, into the sky as a symbol of hope for the people of Bryn Shander. Something for them to hold on to cling to give the promise that better days are to come after making it through the darkness of what this day may bring. And I believe that is around about where we left off it, because I believe you guys were deciding which avenue to take, whether it was to go try to catch this dragon or to wait within the city of Bryn Shander, or if it was another avenue totally different. You guys have had a little while to think about this now, so any option you guys choose to take, it will matter. So, with that, we find ourselves in the artificial daylight of the summer star in Bryn Shander. Hundreds of people who have been displaced from their towns still litter the city, running around getting supplies to the walls for the archers, getting their extra bows, their extra arrows. The people who look fit to fight getting strapped up into armor, and pretty much emptying out the wares with black iron blades, and getting ready to fight any threat that comes their way. What would you guys like to do?
I would like to look at the path the dragon has been taking, like where it's already hit, where it's been headed, and see if I can figure out any discernible pattern.
Okay. So, taking a look at a map, I assume Lek produces his map that he has hand-drawn quite well. And you take a look, and Markham is there with you, and he says, he looks at the map and he says, this is the area of where we believe that Duragar Fortress is, as he points towards the south of Goodmead, about 15 miles or so. And from there, you then start to look at the path that it's taken, as the closest city it hit was Dugan's Hole, moving just to the northeast to Goodmead, and then moving from Goodmead to East Haven, and now moving from East Haven to Caer Dineval. You see it's kind of going in that, on the right side of the outskirts of town, in that direction.
So what I would like to see is if I can predict where it will be going next, and where we might be able to either cut it off or at least get to a town to warn them in time before it gets there or anything like that.
You would want to deduce that down to a roll? Or
Okay.
would you like to try to infer yourself? Just to be clear.
Probably a roll, because I don't have an actual map in front of me.
Can I assist with that and like put our heads together?
Yeah, I'd be happy to assist as well, considering strategy and war tactics are kind of Salus's bag.
Okay. So go ahead and make, let's call that an intelligence check, just flat out.
All of us, or like, is he rolling with advantage?
He would roll with advantage, sorry.
Okay. Dirty 20.
Okay, with a 20. So you take note that the trajectory that it's on from the supposed location of that Duragar fortress, when going from Dugan's Hole to Goodmead to East Haven, it's staying on the eastern side. You know about how long it takes to get to Caer Dineval, about 6 hours maybe travel. And you've seen how fast it's been dispatching, particularly those smaller towns of Dugan's Hole and Goodmead. It took a little bit more time in East Haven, but that's a fairly major city. But now that it's on its way to Caer Dineval, you would, with that roll, surmise that if you were to leave now for Caer Dineval, you would not catch it. But then you're left to wonder whether or not it would go from there to Caer Konig, which seems likely, or Tourmaline hopping over the Caer, Kelvin's Cairn, to go start working on the western border. You're not sure if there's a reason why Caer Konig would be spared, but it's a possibility that crosses your mind.
Well, even assuming that it went from Caer Dineval to Caer Konig, I feel like it would still probably beat us to Caer Konig,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even if we left now?
It could be pretty likely.
So, and then what other towns are there? There's Tourmaline, and then where else has it not hit besides Brinchander?
So Tourmaline, then you have Lonely Wood, Bremen, Targos, Brinchander.
Okay.
Is there a central location, like, where we might be able to head it off to protect multiple towns? Even if it means sacrificing one for the help of many?
Go ahead and make a... We'll make that a wisdom check.
Okay. Oh, sorry, that was a saving throw. Ignore that roll. Wisdom check. That's a 12.
So, with the thought process being you might be open to sacrificing a town to try to get ahead of it and try to get in front of its projected path, which, you know, you're not exactly sure of at this point, but with the conclusion kind of being drawn towards Caer Konig being having the writing on the wall for it, so to speak, you think maybe going to Tourmaline may be your best bet to save the towns of Bremen, Lonely Wood, and Targos.
In that case, Andy's gonna say, time is not on our side, and if we go to, you said Targos, right?
Tourmaline.
Tourmaline, sorry. Those two towns. Okay. If we go to Tourmaline, then we could save all three of the towns beyond it. My idea would be to do that and to send word to the other towns to evacuate.
And where are we currently?
Bryn Shander. And messages had been sent out, I guess that would be about 3 or 4 hours ago now, with riders and dog sleds to get out to those towns to not force an evacuation, but suggest an evacuation of their town.
Excellent. Okay, in that case, yeah, I would suggest this idea. We need to save as many as we can.
Yeah, I think we try and cut it off before it gets to every town, and we make our stand. And we're going to have to make our stand either way. This place may be better fortified, but if we wait for it to get here and make our stand here, it will just destroy the rest of the towns until it's gotten here.
Yeah.
So I think trying to cut it off is... Yeah, I think trying to cut it off is our best chance.
So Tourmaline is what we're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we expect to cut it off? What is our plan of action here to take it down?
Well, we need all of the able fighters that are preparing here. We all need to go try and cut it off and make our stand before it's destroyed all of the towns, instead of making our stand here.
So Sam, with my knowledge of Shadowland, would I be able to determine what it would be weak against if it's made of Shadowland?
Shardolin, you would know, has no obvious weaknesses. I mean, it's a crystalline metal, and because it is part metal, it can melt. But you know it's a sturdy metal. You've had hands-on experience with it.
Right. Okay.
Silas, with Vega mentioning moving along with the retinue that is in place here in Bryn Shander, with your background of where you came from, the knowledge that you have is that it takes a significantly much longer time to move an army than a small party. So if you were to try to militarize Bryn Shander, your traveling time would be extended at that point.
I was actually just about to mention that myself. I think bringing everyone with us would take far too long and do us more harm than good. As much as I would hate to be the one volunteering for it, I think it's better that just we go and see what we can do.
Well, what if we went to one place and sent the army to another place in case, because we don't really know where it's going.
Has Bryn Shander been hit? I apologize.
No.
Then they'd say they'd probably be better off staying here and fortifying as best they can.
From its projected path, I feel like it's circling all of the coastal cities, and then Bryn Shander is its final destination. So we
Bryn
could
Shander is
all...
also where people will evacuate to. So
Yes.
it would make sense for it to be its last target.
Yes. So the army could stay here and fortify and try to make it stand like they're planning on doing, but I feel like that's what the dragon is forcing them to do. So maybe we should do something that it's not expecting and that it doesn't plan for.
And Markham, being nearby, he says, I would be hard-pressed to send off a retinue. Just because with so many refugees headed our way, I don't want to leave. I don't want to fight two battles, one on the outside and one on the inside, from people starting to loot and try to take what they can and make it out of town. You understand?
Yeah.
If I may make a suggestion, Targos, they're all assholes, aren't they?
From my recollection, yeah.
Assholes are often the most prepared when it comes time for an attack like this. I feel as though if we were to make a stand, yes, we'd be sacrificing many towns. Targos is the closest for us, and we would have the most time to prepare.
I don't know.
Personally, I'm with Markham. I think that we need to stay here and fortify and get prepared where we're at. Especially if we, like he said, we have refugees coming in from all over the place, and that's just going to add to our numbers.
So
because if we go anywhere else, there's the chance that we'll leave, head there, and then more refugees will get here once we're already gone, and then won't be a part of the fight, and we need all the help we can get.
And Markham says, "Oh, I'm not trying to say that you guys need to stay here. You are capable heroes. If your time and effort to save lives is out there, even to deter it, I'd say you would be the task force to be sent out, and we leave the retinues here. But I'll leave that
what
up
I think
to
is
you."
best. Because they have a capable force here, and we could stop them from killing more innocents down the line.
And Tourmaline is still a pretty big city.
Yeah, I would hate to see more cities fall when we could stop this.
Well, we can try. I just don't know what we'll be able to do without the army to back us that we would have here.
I think we are more than capable.
Or we could always, I mean, if the proverbial shit hit the fan, we can always retreat.
Yeah, that is true. Above table question: do we still have those fucking bugbears with us? Whatever happened to them?
I think you guys forgot to pay them
No.
one day.
And they
We
just kind of
separated
fucked
ways, I
off.
thought.
I thought we parted ways peacefully.
I just don't remember when they left, but I haven't heard anything about them for a while.
I think it was
so I
a
don't-
few towns ago. The most recent acquisition was Sonar.
They got tired of my puns. That's what happened. Hey,
Oh.
Hey!
Hey, Andy!
Okay, well that makes sense. I just wasn't sure. I didn't remember what had happened to them. Okay. Well, if we're thinking heading to Tourmaline is our best course of action, I'm for it.
Have we've been to Tourmaline as a party, right?
Yes.
When?
It was not too long ago, actually. That was, wait.
I just don't personally remember doing anything in Tourmaline, so I don't know if maybe
You
that
were
happened
on
while I
your
was
way.
gone.
You guys were on your way to Tourmaline, and then something happened.
Something shiny popped up.
I think something shiny popped up. Yeah.
So we've never even been to Tourmaline.
I feel like you guys had, though.
Yeah.
I could just not remember, or I could have not been here when it happened.
Can you remind me or remind us of who the town leader is?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
I'm looking it up too.
That was a half orc, so no, I haven't had to play a half orc.
Okay, so we have not been here.
I feel
Outside
like-
of the meeting, anyway.
That was one of those side quests that we had an option to go explore and didn't.
Oh, I thought we had.
Check it out.
Oh,
I feel like we had met a half off
the
at some point.
Psy Crystal. I think it was at the town speaker meeting. Is where you guys met him.
Gotcha.
The Psy Crystal, back when Carcass was still around, there was one that was found, and they were the aliens were triangulating at a location, and they said another one was in the vicinity of Tourmaline.
That's it.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Shaking off the old cobwebs.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll kind of look to the party. So are we going to Tourmaline to Try and cut this thing off.
Could
Yeah.
we stop by like a weaponsmith or something to? I mean, if we're taking on a freaking dragon,
Yeah, we should prepare.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
should absolutely prepare.
Markham
no,
says, make your way over to the Black Iron Blades.
why certainly.
Everyone
sorry.
who was in the last campaign, please imagine the look on my face right now.
Yeah, same.
Bill and I just shared a look too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but do we have any real idea about what weapons would have any effect on this particular dragon?
Ranged would
Go
probably
along
be
with the
good.
magic for one. And it is made of metal, so I would think something with fire or acid, something like that would probably be pretty decent.
I
I
would
would-
imagine we'll use a lot of spells that are ranged as well, because I highly doubt I'll be able to
Yeah.
access the creature with my warhammer.
Yes, I suspect mostly magic would be the thing. So, are we all really set on leaving Bryn Shander to meet it in Tourmaline? Is that really the best course of action here?
Yes.
I suggested Targos, but people aren't fond of that plan. I feel like they would probably be the most well-suited, though.
That may be true, but they also may have already evacuated by the time we got there to any of these towns. And
Going to Tourmaline has the greatest chance of saving the most people, so that's
Yeah.
where I would prefer to go.
we're just trying to cut it off sooner so it doesn't destroy as many towns.
Don't we
No,
have
that's
messengers
sensible.
going to all of the surrounding towns to let them know about this threat?
Yes, we sent the dogs out a few hours ago with messengers. They should be reaching Targos by now. Perhaps Bremen in a little while, and I'd imagine they're still on their way to Tourmaline.
Would you happen to have any extra dogs?
I'm sorry, we sent them all out.
Again, which is why I think that it's best if we stay here and prepare here, where we have all the resources at our disposal that we could prepare for right here now.
The Tin Man has a point, plus, who of us can walk faster than a dragon can fly? Show of hands. I know I'm very athletic, but I don't think I can do that.
This will raise his hand.
Zizix, you never cease to amaze me, but I don't think we can turn you into a cannibal for this fight. I don't believe the speedball special is a viable strategy. I'm sorry.
Well, not with that attitude.
No, you're absolutely right. Come, sit on my knee, young gnome, and I will throw you at the dragon, and we'll see how well that works out for us.
Well, I can get Pointy to just fly me.
Compliments and such aside, Silas brings up a very good point. How are we even going to beat the dragon there? I mean, all of us.
Well, the plan was
You
to
have a
try
form
and
dragon?
go a few towns ahead of it and meet it while it's busy destroying other towns. Meet it at a town.
That's how we're
before
ahead of
gets
it,
there.
because it's... Right now it's headed for... which town was it headed for?
It's in Caradinaval,
It's
and
in Caradinaval now.
you think maybe it'll go to Karakonig, but there's no telling if there's a reason why it would spare that town. You guys just don't know.
Well, be it 2 towns or 6 towns, either way, towns are burning to the ground and people are dying.
Right.
So we need to hurry.
No, we need to think logically. This is not the time for emotion, Adriana. And I know that is a very, very hard thing to hear right now. But if we are going to survive this, if we are going to defeat this, we need to do it correctly. We have one shot at this. Because if it hits the town before we get there, we play catch up this entire time, and I don't think we can catch up to it. And if we get there before it, and it kills us all, then there's nothing that can be done.
I agree, and I'm not thinking emotionally. I am thinking logically. If we go now, with the likelihood that it will continue its rampage as it has, provided it doesn't spare Caer-Dineval, we should be able to head it off before it hits all of those other towns.
And I don't believe we have time for shopping, do we?
Just a thought. They've already sent messages out on dogs. They're going to get there way before us. So those people are already going to be evacuating, and the dumb ones are going to stay there.
Yeah.
So maybe staying here is actually the best option.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, they're all starting to persuade me as well that staying here to stand our ground would be our best bet. We'll have more people to back us up. We'll have more time to prepare. Any of the messengers will beat us to all of these towns. So if there's any hope of saving any of those towns, it will be them evacuating and coming here to help us in the final fight. I think staying here is our best bet.
Because the time that it's going to take us to go and try to head it off, and we don't know its course, that is time wasted that we could be preparing right here.
Yeah, I actually agree. People are going to keep pouring in, and we're going to need to help them get ready to face it when it arrives.
So we need to start thinking about how we're going to take down this dragon, because we can't take this fight to the air. Not all of us.
And Zip's going to just jump up and shout, "To the library!" Wait,
Vega's gonna perk up like crazy when he says that and say, "Absolutely," and just follow him without even saying anything else.
Okay.
Andy's gonna step outside, and she just does not look happy at all.
Lek is going to follow Andy.
Of course.
Silas as well.
Of course you are.
So it's just me and Eclipse right now.
Eclipse is gonna give Lysander a look, and she's just kind of gonna gesture to Vega and follow him.
Or no, I've got Armand Hammer in there with me too, right?
Oh, here, let's divide and conquer. Me and Vega, we'll go research, see what we can find. Lysander, Eclipse, and Armand. Why don't you guys go get us supplies? And then Lek and Silas and Andy, why don't you formulate some strategy?
I have a strategy, but everybody decided to leave before I could get it out.
To the library!
Might as well. It's also a good place to formulate strategies, is in a library.
You may want to strategize with Markham too, because he knows the town and he knows what they have.
Yeah, I did try to do that last week.
I think that's where we ended on, just because I know we were missing people at that point. But for now, we'll step out with, let's see, who was that? Lek, Silas, Andy, anyone else?
I think it was just the three of them, because I took off to the library as soon as Zizek said it.
No,
Okay.
I'm just going to stay in here and fuck myself.
All right, you guys are
You're pretty good at that.
Armand
You
Hammer.
hear a faint sound of metal clinking.
No, real. Well, I guess the cold doesn't affect him, so I guess so.
Silas kicks in a can of WD-40 to help him out.
Slip and slide.
Oh god!
So Andy
Yeah,
is
we'll see what comes out.
slowly walking around outside among the refugees, and following up behind her are Lek and Silas.
Adriana, might I, well, I don't know, have a word with you sounds a bit too serious. although it is something serious I want to talk to you about, can I just speak with you for a moment?
Sure. What's up?
Look, do you remember, I don't know, perhaps a few days ago or 10 days ago, time's a funny thing, I must say, when I was telling you were one of the good ones and talking about the trajectory of my life, and
Yes,
you told me it wasn't too late to change.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the time, I said that it was for me, but I have to say, and while I still think out of self-preservation a lot, and I still want what I want. I don't know, Adriana. Being around you and being with the team, if you will, just made me kind of rethink that stance a little bit. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if I did want to change, what should I do?
Andy stops walking and looks over at Lek with a sort of surprised expression, but pleasantly so, and she says, well, I think, I don't know, I know you view me as one of the good ones, I suppose, but it really is just the way I was raised, and I guess the only thing I do differently is I'm willing to sacrifice for people other than myself. And I don't think to be a good person you have to sacrifice your life, but some sacrifice is always required to help others. So I guess that a willingness to give of yourself to benefit someone else.
Lek looks down and he kind of furrows his brow and just takes a quick sigh. Adriana, I hear you, and I think deep down in my heart of hearts, I knew that was what you were going to say. But I have to tell you, while I think I'm starting to want that, I also have experience, shall we say, with trying to sacrifice on behalf of others and losing a lot more than I intended to, and it's just hard. Sometimes I find myself kind of, it might seem like I'm just gone. It's during those times that I don't know, I'm thinking about this stuff. I'm thinking about when I was an ambassador and when I was sacrificing for people, and then what that got me, which was losing my mother, was rethinking my entire life. And it just didn't seem like it was worth it. And then as I started, I don't know, let's call it devoting myself to Larlock, sure, I gained a lot of benefits from that. But it's also changed me. It's darkened me a lot, and I feel the pull, like your ring detected, towards evil. And at first, I embraced it, but I just don't know anymore. I'm just caught, I guess you could say. And as we're about to perhaps be in a situation where I could actually die, I guess I'm just rethinking everything.
Like, you're not a bad person. Forget the ring. You're not a bad person. And the fact that you are thinking about this proves that.
Well, it's...
So, as we go into this, don't think like that. You've sacrificed for us. You've done good things. You're not lost. Life is
No.
just the process of finding yourself, no matter how old you are, no matter what you've been through. And no one ever really finishes it.
Well,
You still have plenty chances.
well, I mean, I want to believe you. I really do. And I hope that maybe through this encounter I might be able to figure it out and perhaps change. I don't know, but I feel like I'm on the precipice of going one of two directions, you know, and well, everything kind of comes down to this point. I don't know, Silas, have you ever had, you know, a shift in thought like that?
Absolutely not.
I have to say, when Lect posed that question, I looked across the room at Sam and grinned because I knew the response was going to be hilarious.
Well, and that kind of broke up the Goodwill Hunting moment. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
I was literally about to break in and say, all right, this is getting way too deep. Can someone please make a dick joke?
Look, Lek, I do understand where you're coming from. And Adriana, I understand you as well. The need to sacrifice for others, it's all very romantic in a way. Speaking of romance, if you need 5 coins, you can go and have one last thrust before we all die. I completely understand. I'm happy to fork over for your room. But
What?
But what we need right now is to find a way to survive. My recommendation of Targos, I do believe, is the best one, but I am not going to force that upon the party, but I have been thinking of something else, perhaps.
Like what?
Do we know where that thing came from?
No.
Well, one would assume that if it is going to go around and destroy the 10 towns, it might go back. Look.
It's true.
As much as I hate to think of people this way, you have to break quite a few eggs to make a really good fucking omelet. And
Andy scowls.
if every person in the 10 towns is an egg, we have the best chance to make the biggest omelet if we wait for this thing to return home.
My reasoning is, I think, different, but I do understand what you're saying. The sacrifice of the few could be the savior of the many, and I do believe in that. As much as I would hate to have to sacrifice anybody, I do understand that it is often necessary. I just worry that staying in Bryn Shander is more a decision of self-preservation than logic.
And I don't want to stay in Bryn Shander.
Neither do I. I'd prefer Targos to that. But I don't know how to sway the others. I do have a tendency to jump straight to the path that will save the most lives, whether or not that path is the most logical. And I can recognize that. But I need to be able to sleep at night, and if we don't try and save them, I don't know that I can.
Well, right now, 2 of our party members are on the fucking reading rainbow, and I don't think that's going to help us at all. I might have a laser pistol, but I'm not Geordie LaForge here. So, looking around Bryn Shander, I don't think this place is properly equipped to survive any kind of a dragon attack, let alone Targos are assholes. I'm pretty sure I spoke with one of them and, manipulated my way into, getting into some good graces, but I really think that they have the best chance. And I understand that maybe the way I phrase things isn't the greatest, but I feel like if anyone's going to be prepared, it's them. And not only that, they're quite close, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's true.
So let the streets run yellow with yolk and urine, and let's find the place where we can be the most effective. If it's not Targos, it's wherever this thing was built. Whoever built it will know how to destroy it. We kill them, maybe we find something else.
Andy kind of furrows her brow in thought, and she looks over at Lek and says, "What do you think?"
Well, actually, as you were mentioning this, something just occurred to me. What does Targos want, truly?
To
That's
rule
an
over the
actual
10
question.
towns, I imagine.
Yes,
I
it
think that's
is.
what everyone wants.
Exactly
So
what they
you're
want.
getting at them creating this thing.
That is precisely what I'm saying. What if the whole gambit is some arrangement they have with the Duragar to make Bryn Shander no longer the center of the 10 towns and bring it to them? You
That's
have to admit it's
not
an
a bad
awful
assertion.
potential possibility.
You're very right.
To be fair, if the dragon had just stopped at Dugan's Hole, we would have been singing their praises, because honestly, they did everyone a favor by wiping that stain off the map.
Oh, without a doubt. Oh, sorry.
But they went for good meat, and honestly, that hits a little close to home. I helped make the mayor there, and it's a little upsetting that I might not be able to cash in on my favor.
I had a house there. I actually decorated it and everything.
Oh,
Really?
very nice. What'd you do? Shit in a corner?
Aren't you a delight at parties? Yes, remember
Always.
that dumb fuck dwarf? I got the key to his house.
Oh.
Just kept it. And yeah. Good times.
Was that the one that had the lights up before autumn was even over?
Oh, yes, I paid off a couple of the townspeople to do that for me. I don't know, I was feeling festive.
Right.
Candle nights is right around the corner.
Just the worst. All right.
I think it's sweet, Lek.
Well, thank
Again, 5 gold if you really need it. I mean,
Oh, Silent!
you don't even have to take off the breastplate, darling. You just kind
No!
of... I assume, anyway. I don't know. I can give you the same spray I gave...
Are you projecting?
What? Never.
Yeah.
You are projecting.
I'd like to get abreast of the situation.
See, Lex into it.
Wah.
I will stand guard if that helps either of you, thinking that, someone might hear
Oh,
us too.
God.
What could possibly happen, and what if the party finds out?
Andy
Yeah,
starts massaging her temples.
Get in there and massage her shoulders.
No! Look, you calm down. Maybe you should spend your 5 gold on yourself. To chill your thirst there, pal.
5 gold could not alleviate any of the pent-up frustrations I've had for years now.
Grow. Back to the dragon.
Yes, that bad dragon. Back to it.
Stop.
So,
Sure you all missed me.
Swear to God, I will quit.
This is fucking delightful.
This is fun. This is a lot of fun.
Andy is like a tomato now.
Oh,
It's just
I think he would have already quit by now with the kind of shenanigans.
So, you guys want to continue discussing this, or were you guys headed somewhere to renegotiate a plan, or the room? It's up to you guys.
We could try and go back to the party and present our thoughts in a more civilized manner.
Yes, I think that Lex's idea should definitely be presented to everyone. That's a factor we really should consider.
Perfect. Lek, please write down your idea, so that way we can present it in an organized factor, and then at the end of it I will put this on the icebox because you did a very good job.
Thank you, Silas.
Of course, sport.
God, what was that?
I believe that was confusion presented rather well, if I'm not mistaken, yes.
That was a proud father. That's what you just witnessed.
All right. And the rest of you had went to the library?
Yeah.
Not all of us.
Oh,
I
who
don't
did not
think.
go?
I don't know if
I'm
Lysander
pretty
or
sure
Armand
Lysander's
went.
fucking himself in the room we
Yeah,
were just
yeah.
discussing
Right.
things in.
Yeah,
So-
that's what's happening.
Armand Hammer then also went to the library?
Still
Well, I hope he was not fucking himself, because Armand Hammer's in the room with him.
Oh, well, let's jump into it.
5 gold.
Armand Hammer and Lysander are among the refugees as Lysander's watch the party disperse and kind of break up into their own little endeavors, and he looks over his shoulder and he sees Armand Hammer grinning and looking at him, looking around.
Well, I guess it's just the two of us.
It would appear that way, wouldn't it?
You know, I know you get frustrated with everybody, but your old friend Armand Hammer, he would love to hear your plan.
Thank you, Armand.
And at
You know-
this moment, a conspicuous can of DW04 rolls into the room.
That batch didn't work.
Oh my.
Didn't work till they got to the 40th one.
Yep, makes sense.
That's a fact, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, sorry to cut you off for the joke, but go ahead.
Anyway, okay, Armand, I think that we need to go and find Markham. What say you?
Was that really the whole of your plan?
No, but
Oh,
that was
thank
part
God.
of the plan.
Oh, that's good, because when I said I would like to hear your plan, if that was the whole plan, that's a really bad plan.
Well, I'll go ahead and give you the Cliff Notes version right now. First off, we need to take it out of the air. We need to find a way to clip its wings. I think the best way to do that is by means of extreme heat somehow. I will make them inoperable and bring it to the ground. And if Markham and the town here may have a cache of dynamite handy, we can lure it to a hole or a pit or something and blow it up.
Okay, well, first, that's a really nice plan you have.
Thank you.
Sure, your old friend, he is very impressed by your plan. I don't know if that's gonna work, because, you know, the dragon, he's way up in the air, and I don't know how far you can jump, but Armand Hammer, he cannot jump very high.
Well, Zizix had mentioned that he has a way to fly, and we do have a druid in the party who I believe also can fly. So, we do have those two at our disposal, or at least maybe to find a way to get it to come to the ground. But I think the best way to do that again is to clip its wings.
Well, that's going to take a really big pair of scissors, but I think if you want to go find Markham and tell him all about your plan, I think that's a really good idea. You should definitely do that.
I think I will.
Yes, this is very smart. And I can stay here, and then when the rest of the party come back, I can tell them where you go, and then I can be the center of everyone's coming back together.
Sounds like a really good idea. In the meantime, do you think you could find us, or see if you can ask around about where we could find some explosives?
Oh, I think your older friend Armand the Hammer, he could probably do that.
That would be great.
All right.
Then I'll tip my hat to him and make my way out to find Markham.
And Sam, we were still in this kind of inn bar area.
Yeah, kind of on the porch. I wanted to create a different scene, kind of separated out from where everyone went.
Great. Then I'm going to go back inside.
Uh-huh.
As he starts to walk away. Hello, all little babies. Does anyone know how to make things go boom?
And give me an investigation check on that.
Oh, I rolled a 2, so that's only a 9.
Okay. So you make your declaration and your inquisition inside of the room, and people around kind of look at you, and you hear one person kind of speak up and says, "I have a throw bomb."
Well, how big is that?
It's about the size of a grenade, maybe.
Oh,
I
I
guess
don't
you would
think
know what
that's...
that is. So a baseball.
Okay, well, I don't think that's going to be big enough to kill a dragon, do you?
No.
Perhaps your older friend Armand the Hammer, he should clarify himself. Does anyone in here know how to make a dragon go boom?
Well, maybe if you make him eat them, like if he's hungry?
Probably only if they have a Taco Bell listed on them.
I can write on it.
Well, if they're that small, it might take a whole lot of them. How many of these things do you have?
I only have the one. Most of the explosives, we've been using them to break up the ice and fish with them.
Well, first, thank you very much for your input. It was very kind of you.
You're welcome.
But the second, I don't think that's going to help very much, do you?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I don't think that's going to help very much, though, do you?
Oh no, I don't think it'll do much. No.
Okay, well, it's not going to do anything, but it was very nice for you to help.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being so supportive with my horrible contribution.
Yes, it was a really bad idea, but it's very nice that you spoke up.
And everyone else kind of just chuckles at themselves at first, and then comes to the realization that is more along the lines of, what are we gonna do?
Right? See, I see the look on everyone's face, but don't worry. Armand the Hammer and his little babies, they're here.
Well, we're very glad for that, Armand Hammer.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say. And then I'm just gonna go over and get me a drink.
And the bartender slides you over an ale, and he says, "On the house."
Oh, that's really nice. I like them when they're like that. So I'm just gonna sit here and drink my drink because I feel like at this point I have fulfilled my obligation to try and find explosives.
I'm sorry, one more time.
Sure.
I must
feel
be
like
losing connection.
I feel like at this point I'm just gonna sit here and drink my drink because I have fulfilled my obligation to find explosives.
Okay, very good. We'll hop over to Lysander in his conversation with Markham as he you find him not too far from where you guys were, and he says, Lysander.
Markham.
Have you guys decided what you're gonna do?
Well, from what I can tell, I think the best course of action would be to stick around town, fortify, and prepare while we're all here. But everybody else has disbanded and gone their own ways to make their own plans. So I thought that I would...
It's not the worst idea to bring a few plans to the table after they've been thought out.
Well, I would be in agreement with you there. But I wanted to go ahead and ask you while everybody else was away if you had access to any explosives, dynamite, TNT, anything of that sort.
Reserves for our TNT were expelled, well, there was a bit of a bidding war formed between Caradinaval and East Haven when the ice started to first take, and they were utilizing it to get as many fish as possible.
I see.
So we're short on that, and our supply of throw bombs that come in from south, it's been dry for a few years.
I see. Well, our first course of action is going to be to bring that dragon to the land. We can't fight it in the air. We can only fight it from the ground.
That's one of the reasons why the walls helped us years ago with the dragon that came through that. This dragon seems to be a little bit bigger. At least with the walls, we had archers to try to force it to take cover.
I see. So how, tell me about that dragon. What happened there? How did you defeat it?
Well, thanks to the Order of the North, they had softened it up a bit, and once it made its way over to here, we were able to pelt it away and slow it down enough that it had to land, and luckily we had a well-organized militia at that point and hadn't suffered a famine, and we were able to take a fair number of losses, but eventually take care of the dragon.
So it was pretty weak by the time it had gotten here. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, it was strong enough to fly and pelt us from a distance, but with a little bit of time and some good archers, we were able to take matters into our own hands.
What kind of dragon was it?
Oh, it's been many years. I believe it was a blue dragon.
I see. Because I'm not sure that the same methods are going to be useful in taking this one down. Don't know.
Well,
not sure what to expect.
It's made of, what, Shardland, they say?
Lysander nods.
Can you take an arrow?
I can. It hurts. But
if you fire enough arrows at you, will you go down to your knees?
I suppose that's possible.
I'd say that's the science behind the method. But we gotta hold out hope as he glances up and looks at the summer star that's in the air. We don't have very much in the ways of, explosives, and our ballista are broken and had to be salvaged. Hopefully, enough of us can hold on to hope to fight through it. With your help, of course. be that here in town or elsewhere. Like the Order of the North of the Old fighting it somewhere else. I wouldn't be averse to having you guys here to provide that hope as well. But I leave it to you, the professionals.
He's gonna laugh internally, but not out loud.
Uh-huh.
Well, we'll do what we can. But you do raise a very good point. Do you have any cannons or projectiles at all that we could mount and have at the ready?
Like I said, most of our projectiles, ballista and the like, they had to be sold or traded and broken down for essential goods during the big freeze. This everlasting winter. Hopefully that time's coming to an end. But for now, we have to deal with what we've had to work with.
Then I think that if you have the right people that could scrounge up some wood or have the resources to do it, we need to think about making a catapult or something. Anything. Because if this is where we're going to fortify, then we need to get to it.
I understand. I'll see what I can do.
Alright, in the meantime, let me go regroup with my party and see what they've found out.
Alright. And Markham tips his cap to you. And we'll go ahead and head over to the library, where that was Vega, Clips, Zizix. Is that it? That was it.
Which I will be heading to the library, by the way.
Yeah, you'll come in partway through their discussion.
Sure.
So, the three of you make it to the library, and you see that it's unoccupied. There's no one here.
Is it locked?
No, it's open. You take a look around, and you see the candle that was lit is still smoking, so you must have just missed them. But you would think they're assisting elsewhere in town with refugees or whatever they may be able to do.
Okay. Would I know enough about libraries to know what kind of filing system they have to like find certain books that I'm looking for?
Yeah, I think it's called the Pewee Pessimal Pistum.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, I would like to look for any books I can find on Chardolin first, and then on dragons, I guess.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check. Zizix, Eclipse, are you guys assisting, or are you looking for other things?
I mean, I'm gonna look for dragon stuff myself, because I already feel like I have a good grasp on Chardolin.
Yep. Eclipse?
I'll help Vega find his stuff.
Okay. So Vega, you can go ahead and roll with advantage.
Okay. Nat 20 plus 2.
Yeah, so you find some decent material on Chardolin. It's listed in the minerals and etc. type books, and you find your way to the page of Chardolin. You see that it's listed as a crystalline metal. It can be forged at higher temperatures, a little bit stronger than bronze, which is a tempered metal. And see, it's quite stable. Anything in particular that you're trying to look for about Chardolin?
Any particular weaknesses, melting point, things like that, I guess?
So no particular weaknesses, no particular strengths either. Excuse me. But when it comes to the melting point, you see that it takes a little bit longer to melt down into ingots than other metals would. So with that roll, you would kind of think it would have to stay still in an enclosed environment to be successful to melt down, because even though you have the summer star, the temperature is still cooler than what it would be inside of a furnace.
Right.
So that heat is going to escape and make it maybe impossible to melt it down while it's in the air.
Okay, that is good information to have. Then I guess I'll move on from that to looking into dragons, which I know Zizix is doing, so I might just help him look at some of that.
Yeah, so Zizix, give me your investigation for dragons. What in particular are you looking for?
Would this be a history check or investigation?
If you're looking for books, it would be investigation. If you're trying to recall history that you might have learned, that would be history.
Okay, so 23 for investigation.
So you find the Big Dragon book that looks to have an outlined overview on most common dragons that were come across by someone named Volo. But as you kind of peer through, you notice that, Charlatan dragons aren't there, but you're not exactly surprised by that.
Can I see any kind of commonality and weaknesses between dragons?
Well, let's take a look. You notice that there's obviously a wide variety of dragons, and each individual dragon might have a little bit more of a vulnerability than others, but you're not seeing an exact pattern.
Okay. Can I glean anything from their intelligence or wisdom?
You know that dragons are very intelligent and they're very wise. Some dragons in particular have decent charisma as well. They're able to fool and play tricks, and that would be like the copper dragon in particular.
Okay. What about behaviors?
Those vary greatly from dragon to dragon. Some dragons prefer the ranged fighting, and some dragons, they are a head-on fight. You do notice that a lot of dragons, older dragons in particular, they try to do the majority of their fighting within their lair, where they have seized a total control over the surrounding area, whether it's an illusory forest or if it's it could be anything that the dragon puts its mind to make it have a home field advantage.
Gotcha. Do I recall if Markham said anything about the Dragon's Age?
The dragon's constructed. So
it's constructed then.
It's a constructed dragon of Charlatan.
Gotcha. Okay. Then if it's a construct or it's a technological device, would you classify it as a technological device?
I would classify it as a construct.
Okay. Well, knowing that I've made my own, would I...
At this point, Vega comes in to join you in looking into dragons.
So I can't seem to find anything specific to this dragon.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But two things. This is a constructed dragon. That's not the traditional dragon. So it could very well be being controlled by somebody else and may not have the same behaviors as a typical dragon.
So maybe instead of researching dragons, we should be researching the people who constructed it.
Possibly. We may also want to look at how can we sever a connection to a construct.
Okay. I'm going to start looking into the Diragar if you want to see what you can find about that.
Yeah, if we can figure out how to sever that connection, it could render it useless.
Yeah. Okay, see what you can find about that. I'm going to see what I can find about the Diragar and the things that they build.
Now, if it's a construct, it needs to have a power source as well. And I'll kind of point to Pointy and say, think of it as a bigger version of him.
So wouldn't its controller need to be nearby?
It depends on the person who made it. I mean, there's more than one way to build a construct. This is just how I did it. But if we're dealing with a powerful magic user, I would think that they could possibly be anywhere. Let's see if we can find something about an anti-magic field.
That seems like our best bet, honestly.
Alright, so go ahead and make your investigation for an anti-magic field, and then Vega, what were you going to start looking for?
I was going to look into Diragar and the things that they build.
Okay, we'll start with you.
So investigation check?
Yes.
Oh, I was about to roll with advantage for no reason. Not do that. That's garbage. 8.
So you look around in the sections for Duragar and try to find anything that might be useful or something that you don't already know, but you're finding that a lot of similarities are drawn between them and dwarves. They're great builders, miners. They come from the Underdark. They prefer darkness over all things, which is why they reside down there. But the few times that people have ventured down to the Underdark, they've seen cities created by these people, and it's fairly similar to dwarven construction.
Okay. Well, that makes me think one of my ideas is probably not a good course of action. Because I was thinking it might be prudent to head to the Diragar Fortress and try to stop them there, and that might take out whoever's controlling the dragon. But if they have full cities down there, there's no way of pinpointing who's controlling it or how or where.
And at this point, Lysander strolls into the library, fellow construct.
Well, hey there.
Hello. How goes the research?
Well, not great. I'm coming up with lots of answers to why my ideas won't work.
Sorry.
kind of ideas.
Well, melting the dragon, that won't work because there's no way to get it hot enough since it's made of charlatan unless it's enclosed, basically in a furnace. Taking out the Dirigar in hopes of getting whoever's controlling it so it's no longer functional. That won't work because they have entire cities down there, so there's no way to know where that one particular dwarf may or may not be. Yeah, so everything's just kind of, well, that won't work because of what I just found, and that's where I'm at.
Damn.
And then Zizix, you said you were looking into the anti-magic fields.
Yes.
Go ahead and... Did you already make your investigation for that?
15.
Sorry, what was that? You broke up a little bit.
15.
15? You know, anti-magic fields are a high-level spell that you would find in the maguses of a arcane brotherhood or any high-ranking wizard at that point. You know, they have very good shielding effects against spells that are in a trajectory like Eldritch Blast, Magic Missile, stuff like that. It offers perfect prevention. But also inside of the sphere, if you were to able to make this 10-foot sphere, magic weapons no longer function as magical. Anyone trying to teleport would be unable to do so as well.
So it's something that's outside of my capability.
It's very much outside of your current capability. This would take a Dumbledore, if you will.
Gotcha.
Are you telling me Zizix isn't a Dumbledore?
Not yet.
I thought this whole time.
Give me one more level.
We'll see how this episode ends.
Hey Vega, do you know any powerful wizards?
Sorry, my thing went away. Not that I can think. Sorry, did that go through?
No.
No.
I said not that I can think of off the top of my head, I'm afraid.
Well, this is beyond my capabilities.
I'm gonna look at what he's researching.
Yeah, the anti-magic field.
And upon skimming, upon skimming the page he's looking at, do I see some of what you told him, like the?
Yeah, you'd be able to kind of scan that pretty quickly.
Well, honestly, if it's a 10-foot sphere, anyways, I don't know how much help that'll be because we have a whole town to protect. I mean, if we happen to be able to pinpoint it, get that 10-foot sphere right on the dragon, that might do it, but that's a big maybe. If it was a definite thing, I'd say we could probably crowdsource for someone who was capable of doing that, since we're going to have most of the towns here eventually. But if it's a 10-foot sphere, that seems like a long shot to me.
Sam, knowing that this is a construct, would I inherently understand what a construct is weak against?
Inherently, you would have an idea if there was a weakness, but ultimately, that weakness would depend on its construction. So, if you're talking like vulnerabilities, who's to say? You know that there's no immediate vulnerability to Charlatan.
Right.
But if you're speaking of like
More like
whether-
resistances, I guess. Like,
let's see, okay,
like piercing versus bludgeoning damage, or fire versus ice, that kind of stuff.
so with that, give me an intelligence check with advantage since you are a constructor yourself.
With advantage, with my +5, that would be an 8.
Okay. The first things that come
Oof.
to your top of your head are going to be like, it probably can't get exhausted. It probably can't be frightened. And then you think, well, it may not have any internal organs, so probably poisoning's out of the question too. You can think of those three things off the top of your head.
Yeah. So I'll kind of list that out, or say that out loud to Vega and everyone else that's there.
Okay. We're having plenty of success in finding out things that won't work and hurting this thing. I mean, I guess by
Let's narrow
process,
that down.
A
I
voice
guess by process
speaks
of
up.
elimination, that's something.
A voice speaks up in the back. Yes. It's elementary with the power of deduction. Hello. It's me. It's Murloc Home.
Oh my god.
Sherlock Holmes, a semi-famous detective writer?
Semi-famous detective writer indeed, my lady.
Swoon.
Oh no, he's an incel. Run.
Oh my god.
My keen perception skills have allowed me to see that you are researching dragons, and you have asked about Charlatan, so I assume you can be looking into this Charlatan dragon that's flying around?
Brilliant deduction.
Thank you
Yes.
very much, I take
Yes.
it. Yes, thank you. Please, bash me and praise more, please.
What can you tell us that might help?
Perhaps the immunities are the friends you made along the way.
Vega just sighed. Walks the fuck up.
Well, if you want, my services cost a little bit of money, and I don't do this for free. And my dad always said, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Pay him. Pay him money now.
Sorry, I don't. Sorry, I keep cutting out. My push to talk is being garbage.
No worries.
I don't tend to pay people for skills that they have not proven to me. And as of right now, all that you have deducted is that we're researching the imminent threat on all of the 10 towns.
What if we pay you in your safety?
Hey, there you go.
Well,
Andy stares.
Work with us if you want to live.
well, my precise observation, I see that you're holding maybe a sprig of mistletoe in your trunk. Looks like you may also be of the druid variety, as I can see that you tend to take shapes in different forms. Your clothes, they fold in such a way that they shrink and expand on command, and that's usually a telltale sign of a druid. Am I correct?
Oh wow, the elephant that carries around plants is a druid. There's no way you could have guessed.
And this man, he's essentially a cowboy monster hunter that is trapped inside of a metal body.
Oh no.
You don't know anything about me.
Oh, I think I know quite a bit about you, I think. Dark, brooding, with a nice hat.
Oh no, he's read the script.
I'm gonna kind of motion for him to proceed. I'm like, go on.
Whoever made you very well, and I can see that has paid off into your favor as you're still standing. But if I were to look into your eyes, I don't see the eyes of a man. I see a man inside of a tin can that is conflicted. Something stirs deep inside of you, but what are your motives? Silence. That's not unexpected. Quite honestly, I'm getting a little bored, so if I'm not being paid, I will be on my way. Thank you, I am Murloc Holmes. Have a good night.
Oh.
He applauds for himself as he makes his exit.
What's your price, you pompous dick?
And he stops his applause and tilts his head to the side as his back is facing towards you, and he says, 55 gold.
Have a good night.
Returns to applauding himself out.
Zizix is gonna yell out, magic missiles!
He's just gonna yell that?
Are you directing that at Murloc to do a reaction to that?
No, I just had a light bulb moment. Zizix style.
What about
Are you
magic
having a
missiles?
seizure?
Yes.
Magic missiles don't inherently... Nothing is immune to those. They can penetrate pretty much anything.
So we need a crap ton of magic missiles then?
Yes.
That'll be a good spell to have.
Yep.
I think I'm just gonna stick to all the fire spells at my disposal that I possibly can.
I'm guessing I'm the only one who has Shatter. That's pretty good at disrupting constructs.
That will be handy.
Out of nowhere, Zizix is looking around. Do you guys hear Lek?
Well, Andy's there, so I assume I came with her.
Andy did speak. Okay, yes. Everyone has made their way to the library at this point.
Okay.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were there, so I tried to keep my shit out of character.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's a
I
good
didn't know
helpful
where the
retcon.
heck we were because I had to be right back.
Oh, hi! I didn't even see you.
Jesus.
Poor Armand Hammer's waiting in the inn, waiting for everyone to reconvene on him.
Still drinking just the one poor drink.
Poor guy.
Silas could have brought Armand with him. He likes Armand enough.
Oh yeah, I did leave Armand Hammer back at the inn. If we wanted to get his input,
Well, now that we're all together,
we're
Well,
not
of course
all
we want his
together.
input.
Except
I'll
for
get him. I'll get him. Andy's
on.
gonna go get him.
okay.
All right.
I was gonna say I think we're done researching anyway, so we could just go back to the end.
So
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so you guys want to just walk back to the inn?
Yeah.
Well, Zizix probably wants to go find a magic shop to see if there's, like, any wands of magic missile that he can find.
You
Gotcha.
see that the shopkeepers around town, as you make your way through town, are not manning their stations. That was short of black iron blades because they're just handing out weaponry to all the new recruits that come in, the refugees as they arrive. But the other shops, like the potion shops, the clothing shops, stuff like that, they're boarding up their windows. They're doing what they can to protect themselves from what do you call this? Blowback.
So what you're saying is the shops are rife for looting.
They're trying to prevent the looting from being very easy, and also the Avenger damage type thing.
Yeah, the Avenger damage. Nice. Well, upon seeing
Try again.
visibly, if he's visibly looking for that, and I can see that too, I'd probably suggest to him, let's just go back to the tavern for the moment, so we're all together, and then hopefully we can find someone who can help us with magical items from there. If all the shops are closing up at the moment, we may just have to crowdsource it.
Yeah, I might be able to find something in my books. I might be able to make some.
That would also be handy.
Shortly arrive back at the inn, and Armand Hammer is sitting at the table drinking away his one drink.
Well, since we've all had a moment to breathe, what ideas did we bring to the table?
Well, I will tell you this. I had the idea that maybe finding the Diragar fortress and taking the fight there might be a good idea, because whoever's controlling the dragon could get overtaken, and then the dragon would no longer be a threat. But in doing my research, I found out that they're giant cities, and there's no guarantee that we'd be able to find whoever's actually controlling the dragons. So I came up with an idea that I found out was a bad one, if that helps.
Though, to be fair, there is the Duragar fortress that Markham was able to triangulate and pointed to on the map earlier in this session.
Right, but is there any guarantee that whatever is controlling the dragon would be there?
No.
Yeah. Because the Diragar, they aren't all at that one fortress. They have underground cities, basically, so it could be anywhere.
Or it could be the spot on the map. Just a thought. Who else has other ideas?
Oh, also, we can't melt the thing.
Like from the outside or period?
The only way theoretically we could melt it is if we got it into an enclosed space and kept it heated.
And what if something got inside it?
Theoretically, maybe that might work? Question mark?
Lysander, how do you feel about crawling inside the belly of a beast?
I don't think this is a typical biological creature. I don't think it's a construct. I don't know if it has an inside.
But it's mechanical. Maybe that means Zizix, this is your fight to shine in.
Well, no.
I mean, if we could safely get you up there where you could look at it, maybe you could disable it.
Possibly.
You're the most tech-savvy person here.
But this This is something. I mean, I'll point to Pointy and say, I only learned how to make him. This thing is a whole different level. It's a very complex thing.
Do we have a way among us that we could feasibly get someone close? And preferably out of its fire trajectory.
Well, there's only two things that this thing's going to do. It's going to be flying and shooting magic at us, which makes it very difficult to get close. Or it's going to want to be right on top of us.
There was a way for us to fly up and maybe access up its back. That would probably be our best bet to get you on it, but you would need protection so that you could work. So we'd need 2 people up there. I'm willing to go, I just don't know how to get there.
I can fly, at least for a time. And if there's anyone whose intellect rivals Zizix in this party, it would be myself.
Vega's gonna visibly roll it.
And Zizix is gonna just kind of chuckle.
Oh, fine, whatever. I was offering my assistance, but if you don't want it, it's all right. You don't need to take it.
I'm not the take a dragon head on kind of guy.
Oh, it wouldn't be head on, it'd be neck on, possibly at best. You sneak up behind it, and you just do what you do. You understand constructs a bit better
We keep it busy while you work.
Yes, they get slaughtered, we survive, and, maybe loot the bodies when they die, who knows?
Andy rolls her eyes.
Well, okay, I wouldn't be opposed to wild shaping into something small and trying to get inside of it and get an idea of its inner workings and see if I can form back into myself inside of it and burn the fuck out of it from there. But I don't know enough about it to know if that would be worth trying.
I'm having Tolga flashbacks.
Yeah, right.
Same.
Poor Colgar.
Yeah.
Olgar.
May he rest in peace.
4 pieces.
No, it was.
Sorry, he was in one piece.
Was that
the other guy wasn't?
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, so Zizix, here's another question. This thing is basically a giant version of the homunculuses that you've constructed, right?
And as best as I can tell without seeing it, just from what people have said.
So it would have the same kind of weaknesses that yours do too, wouldn't it? By that logic?
Theoretically, yes, but I mean, I made this thing pretty invincible.
And no doubt they did too. But does your homunculus have a weakness?
Well, it has a power source.
And what would that be?
I'll point to the big blue glowing thing in his chest.
Okay. So then, if we can spot a power source on this thing, maybe my initial idea of wild shaping and trying to get inside of it would work, and I just go for that and try and remove or destroy it. We'd have to be able to spot it and get me to it.
That is one idea.
Now, this is how I've created Pointy. There are many ways to make a construct.
So it may or may not require a power source.
It could be powered by magic.
Okay.
It may not require the same materials. But it is definitely an option to look at. But basically, constructs need to be controlled. Again, unless this is a type of magic that is, gives it consciousness. But that's gotta be really powerful.
How good are the Dirigar at magic? Would they be capable of something like that?
I don't know. I can't say that I have any Dirigar friends.
Alright, well, what I'm gathering from all of this research is we found a few things that won't work, and we found a few things that might, depending on some major factors that we don't know yet. So I think all we can do is gather as many things that we think might be helpful, like magic missiles, like that, and other things that we think might be useful, and
magic missiles.
And Leroy Jenkins this thing.
I also checked my book, and I can't make a magic missile wand.
I think that would be very helpful.
But I can't.
Well, then we need to crowdsource and see, because the shops are closed, so we can't go try and buy one, but there might be magic users.
Let's go to Markham and see if he can pull some resources.
That's
Yeah, I did ask him to do that, so let's see where he's at on that.
Markham walks in.
good timing.
Wow. Yeah, great.
Small town.
Small town.
Well, I have some good news. I got some bad news.
Bad news first.
Bad news is I was correct in thinking we were out of dynamite.
Well, that's not bad news.
So what's the good news?
Well, there's more bad news.
Oh.
So bad news and worse news.
So why did you pause? You made it sound like that was it.
Well, I was going to let you soak in the information as you needed, and when I got the social cues that you had absorbed that information sufficiently, I was going to continue.
And Zizix is over here, like, tapping his hand and, like, motioning for him to move on.
I take it back. My intellect is far greater than Zizix's. Even I picked up that.
We're starting to get
so much pausing.
We're starting to get refugees in from Caradon of all. Everything in a good portion of that castle has been felled.
Yeah, that's not surprising, sadly.
I do believe that scratches off Tourmaline as our next stop. I don't
Wait.
think we'll arrive in time.
Is that where our castle was?
Yeah.
No!
Oh, big sad.
Oh, now we care.
Is there any word on if it seemed to be
Nancy
heading
folds her
to...
arms, and she makes eye contact with Lek, as if to say, see?
Is this just gonna go up to a table and just face plant into it and just be a sad, depressed puppy?
I don't want to speak out of turn here, but you're all truly rotten people. You know that, right? And that's coming from me.
Andy looks indignant.
Markham, is there any word on where it appeared to be heading from Caradon of all? Did it appear like it was heading to Caer Konig or to Tourmaline or somewhere else?
Well, that's part of the so-so news. There's bad news, there was worse news, and there's so-so news.
Just say it.
Is there any good news?
There is good news.
Okay, well, what's the so-so news? I guess.
So-so news is our messenger came back from Caer Konig, but the bad news attached to the so-so news is that Trovis wasn't able to be found. Town speaker there, the Dragonborn.
Interesting.
So that means that they won't be able to mount a defense, but with our messenger getting there in time, we may have saved some lives.
Okay. Without qualifying any of the rest of the news and its good or badness, what is the rest of the news, please?
Well, our messenger also reported back and said that the dragon was headed to Koenig, just north of Caer-Dineval. But the bad news, I'm sorry. Attached to that news, I don't think with all the evacuations that it's going to run into any trouble trying to destroy what it wants to destroy. From the reports on the ground, people were putting up a fight, trying to stop the dragon, but failing, obviously, slowing it down. So with the evacuation of Koenig, I would draw the conclusion that it's going to start moving faster along its path, whatever it may be.
Okay, so it will be moving faster, and it will be destroying towns, but it will no longer be killing people because they will be evacuated.
Hopefully that's the case, but if I were the dragon and I see a large group of people moving along a path, that's a breath weapon with a ton of casualties.
Oh god. Oh, do we have any mages that are good with weather that could maybe obscure the fleeing masses?
Won't work.
Why not?
Guys, I think we're gonna have to try and cut this thing off to slow it down. Sorry, so the people evacuating can at least make it here. Because otherwise it's just gonna tear through the towns and catch up to them and kill them all before they get here.
Well, when it comes to the weather, we're also seeing a storm coming through. It's been sort of impeded by some star here, but from the refugees coming in, they noticed that a storm might be on its way as well.
We've got to get out there.
Good news.
Good news is I found a wand of magic missile.
Yay! Alright, Andy's
that
gonna like
actually is
start
good
getting
news.
her shit together and like put on her shield and get her like warhammer. Like, okay, we gotta go.
Yeah, as much as I've been up in the air on where to go from here, I think we have to go slow this thing down or it's just going to kill everyone before they get here. So I'm with Andy and I start getting ready to.
Zizix is gonna motion. Hey Andy, why don't you take that?
Why don't I take what?
Sorry, Lek, why don't you take that?
No.
Are you referring to the wand of magic missile?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, did I stutter?
No. No, is there a reason why you think magic missile would be more effective than Eldritch Blast?
Well, magic missiles don't have any native resistances to it.
Maybe we should give the wand to someone who does not already have ranged attacks.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Someone should definitely have that, but he already has ranged spells that will be helpful. So,
is anyone in particular lacking in the range department? I'm okay.
Either Lek or Silas. It would require a natural aptitude for magic.
Oh, I'll take it, absolutely.
Plus, you guys got your laser guns too.
I can barely fire that thing.
You know what? I think we're gonna be okay.
We're going to die. I'll take the wand, though, please.
Physics?
yeah, I think the wand would be the most useful. And
As Andy encourages Zizix, she's also going to give Silas a look.
Silas knows we're all dead, so it's fine. He'll slip like 5 gold.
I was hoping.
So
it's been removed.
Sorry, now that it is going to be tearing through towns quickly, I do think, Silas, your original idea of going to Targos might be our best bet to cut it off and at least slow it down so people can get here safely.
Well, if we're going to put that idea back on the table, allow me to present a theory I came up with a little earlier. I feel like eliminating Bryn Shander and changing the center of the 10 towns is in the best interests of Targos, so I feel like there's a good chance they might be in cahoots with the Duragar for the simple fact that they could be the power center of the 10 towns, if this all works out the way it seems to be so far.
That is a possibility. I don't know how likely, but it is possible. But really the only way to know that is if the dragon does or does not destroy Targos.
Might I add, if you guys go to Targos and that is what is happening, if town speaker Max is a sniveling snake like I think he is, and the dragon passes Targos, then it comes directly to Bryn Shander, with the heroes dispatched elsewhere.
Right. What would the town be that it would reach right before Targos?
Probably Bremen. Or Lonely Wood. Depends if it doubles back or not. It's not a very far distance between the two. It's either one.
Would we even theoretically be able to beat it there?
Well, travel to Bremen. Let me pull up my exact reference.
We would have to go through Targos to get to Bremen.
Yes, you would have to go through Targos to get to Bremen. So from Bryn Shander to Bremen is about 6 hours.
And at the rate the dragon's going now, assuming that the towns are evacuated, it'll be much quicker. Mm-hmm. What are the odds it would take it longer to get there than that?
Well, and Markham, I'm going to give Markham an intelligence check here to try to see if he can calculate how fast that thing is flying. Well, to get from Goodmead to East Haven, that thing was in the air for maybe a little over an hour before we started hearing reports. So essentially, if you were to on foot go from Goodmead to East Haven, that would take about 5 hours. So essentially, it's traveling 5 times your speed. So for you to travel 6 hours, it would be like it had 12 hours at least on foot. It would be able to cover in 6 hours in flight what would take you 30 hours to cover on foot.
There's no way we can beat it to any town except maybe Targos. Assuming that there's a possibility that they're in cahoots and it will pass over them, then we would just leave Bryn Shander exposed.
And if Targos is in cahoots, we at least kill the people who are helping sabotage.
But then we're not here to help Bryn Shander and all of the refugees.
I don't think Bryn Shander survives even if we are here. This place is not fortified well enough for a dragon attack.
Well, stay your tongue.
You have to try.
We have walls, and that's more than you can say for any of the cities it's gone through already.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You have walls. Right.
Silas!
No. I'm Yes, I completely forgot. Walls, they can't be set on fire or crushed or just burst through like a fucking Kool-Aid man.
They have better
Man.
They have better chances with walls and our assist
They do.
than without. I think everyone standing together against it here is our best chance, because we're not going to be able to beat it to any town but Targos. And if there's a possibility that they're in cahoots and it passes over, then we go there for no reason.
And I apologize,
I'd
but
like
we
the
have
idea
sat
of
here with our thumb up our ass for long enough.
I agree. I think we should leave now and help those refugees.
So just head towards Targos and intercept people on the way and try and get them here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm willing to do that. That might be the best way we can help that isn't sitting here and waiting.
And on the off chance that Targos isn't working with the Duragar, we give them a better chance and hopefully spare this place the terror of a dragon attack, period. Trust me, I'm as much of a pessimist as anyone here, but it doesn't hurt to think strategically.
What are you suggesting?
We go to Targos. I cannot imagine that those people are not the least bit prepared. Sam, I spoke with Max before, I think at one of those things,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That motherfucker has very sketchy vibes, but he seems like someone who knows things. He was probably aware, if I had to guess. A dragon attack on one of the 10th town, that's news that would travel somewhat quickly. They might be aware and they might have a better chance than Bryn Shander is. We even sent out that letter, letting people know that this was a possibility.
Okay,
My
well,
name
then,
on it.
in
We might
my
have done something.
the way I see it, there's two possibilities. Targos is in on it, in which case they will not be evacuating because they have no need to. Or Targos is not in on it, in which case they got the message and are evacuating and are on their way here. If that is the case, then we will intercept them on their way here, and we can help them get here safely.
Well,
If we do not intercept them on their way here, that means they're still in town and they're probably in on it.
let me
have
go
you-
ask some of the guards at the gates to see if we've had any refugees from Targos come our way.
That would be a great place to start.
Have you ever had pride in a town, Vega?
Yes, and this dragon already fucking destroyed it.
Yes, because you weren't there to defend it.
Silas.
No,
Rude.
it doesn't
I was trying
matter.
to be, but we didn't make it there fast enough, did we?
Of course, we can't outrun a dragon.
That's part of my point. That's what I've been saying.
So instead of going when we had a chance to possibly beat it, we sat around for 2 hours. You need to learn to listen to me.
I just suggested that we head to Targos.
Then let's fucking go to Targos.
Let's see if any refugees have made it here. Markham's finding out now.
And after a painstakingly long feeling 5 minutes, Markham returns and looks to the party and he gives the nod and he says, "We have about 50 refugees coming in from Targos. They said they can't find their leader. They're not exactly sure where he might have gone, but he didn't travel with the group."
How large is the population of Targos?
About 1,000, if I recall off the top
And
of my head.
50 of them came?
Yeah, that was the first group.
Well, yeah, that's so far. Let's get the road.
So, you guys then transition from the inn and start making your way out into the trail that leads to Targos. You see on the roads lines of people coming from that direction as well. You'd probably surmise a couple hundred people at least, a handful of Targos militia amongst them. But it seems like that they are making their way to Bryn Shander, as densely populated as Bryn Shander is about to be. It looks like they are making their way out. Would you like to stop and ask anybody anything, or continue on and make your way to Targos?
I'd just like to, as we're walking, voice something. Guys, if the speaker isn't to be found there, that points to Lex theory being very possible. And if that is the case, we're going to get to Targos, and then the dragon's going to pass it over and come here and fuck these people up while we're there.
Then we deal with that ramifications when it happens. But we cannot stop on the off chance.
But we fucking can't if it happens. Have you not been listening to any of that? I'm sorry, Silas, but you're being awfully stubborn. Why is it so important for you to get to Targos right now? You seem so set on that, despite facts that state that it could very well be a foolish decision.
Because I trust my gut. You all might not trust me, but I trust myself. I have never steered myself wrong. I have done everything in my power to keep myself alive. I shouldn't be here today, and yet I am. Do you know why that is? Because I fucking know what I'm doing.
Yes, and you're willing to go to extraordinary lengths to gain that ability to know what you're doing. So how can we trust that your interests go in line with our interests? I'm sorry, Silas. I like you a lot, but I also know you pretty darn well. So this just really feels suspicious to me right now, given everything.
I'm inclined to agree. I believe that your reasons for wanting to go to Targos are because you believe it will be passed over, and therefore we will survive if we're there.
No, my reason.
But we will be no help to anyone else.
You can all think that. It's fine with me. I'll sleep perfectly well at night when I discover that I was correct. And if I am wrong, I'll hang myself. It doesn't matter anyway.
Don't say that.
What do you think you're going to find at Targos that is going to help?
Adriana, when I die, please, send my body back to Cormyr. I'm done wasting my breath on these fools.
Andy's just gonna start walking.
Yeah, Silas is just moving quicker, if he can.
Towards Targos, to be clear.
Yes, that's where he thinks
That's
is
also the path
best
of the
move.
refugees, right?
Yeah, the refugees are coming in from Targos.
Okay, then yeah, that's where Andy's going to. She wants to save the refugees.
Okay.
As she walks by, Vega's going to kind of grab her arm and be like, Andy, are you following him to Targos? Or are you just trying to help? Sorry, my push to talk. Or are you just trying to help the refugees on the way there?
I'm going for the refugees. Whether or not I continue on to Targos depends on their safety.
Alright, then I'm going with you.
Well, if I've learned anything, is that it's dumb as fuck to split up, so I suppose I'll stick around.
I'm glad someone's picked up on that
That's a
very
good lesson.
important rule.
Damn, like, jeez.
But, and I'm saying this specifically to Andy, but I do want it known, if it becomes not in our best interest or everyone's best interest to continue to Targos, and Silas is still insisting on it, I am not going with him.
Everyone has their own free will. It's a tough call. I don't know the. I understand your concern, but part of me still wants to, I guess, give Silas a chance. He's not all bad.
I don't think he's all bad. I don't think he's all bad either. I just think this might be the wrong decision.
It's hard to know the right path right now, but we might have a clear idea when we see how many refugees there are.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just see what happens, I guess.
So, making your way through, continuing down the path, more refugees just keep funneling through, and then you start to see on the horizon on this slight uphill path, you see the gates of Targos. It's a very small, short wooden stockade surrounding them. You see a handful of militia manning the gates and filtering people through, but it looks like the tail end of these refugees are just getting funneled out through the gates. It looks like you might have passed at least a couple, or at least 500 people on the way here. Sorry, Billy, you cut out.
Sorry, it keeps happening. I'm going to yell up at the guards and ask if they have any word on where the dragon is.
They look to you and they look to each other, and I say, well, we keeping eyes on Bremen. We haven't seen anything out there, but if it's taken this long, I'd imagine it's at Tourmaline by now. I suppose that's why you're here.
Above table. After Tourmaline, Bremen would be theoretically next, or Bremen or Lonelywood, right?
Bremen or Lonelywood, but they're not sure exactly where it's at right now.
Okay. I'll ask the guards then, have you seen any refugees from any other towns pass through here?
We're just starting to get some from Tourmaline.
From Tourmaline. Okay. But none from Bremen or Lonelywood?
None from Bremen. Lonelywood is a very sparsely populated town if you've never been, and I don't have high hopes for many refugees coming from there, much like Dugan's Hole.
Okay.
What do you have in terms of defenses?
Well, we have a handful of mounted ballista. They're not full-size ballista, but we got them fixed up to the walls here. But they're just glorified crossbows. It just provides a little bit of cover when they're firing back at you with arrows, but they're firing fucking rays, fucking fire, ain't gonna do much.
Of course, but where's your speaker?
That's confidential.
Wonderful. Well, while he's away, I will take command here. Double check your defenses.
They kind of look to each other and they say, we don't take commands from you.
I am Silas Nouvelle, Prince of Cormia. You will take commands from me. Double check your defenses, at least to put these fools' minds at ease that there could be a saboteur amongst you.
Kind of look back to each other, and I'll ask for a persuasion check. Or intimidation, your choice.
Persuasion's better, I'll take that one. $29.
They look at each other, they look back to you, and one guy kind of is still a little bit standoffish, but he's punched in the face by the other guard. He looks to you and he says, I'll do it.
Dang.
And he hustles back inside, and you hear him calling for the militia, saying that they just got word from Max to batten down the hatches, double check all the defenses.
All right. Caretakers, inside now!
As he says that, Vega's gonna look to Andy and say, is this where we should go, or should we go try and find Bremen's refugees?
So Bremen is beyond where the dragon is right now, correct?
So Bremen would be 2.5 hours to the northwest. Tourmaline, I believe, is about a 4-hour journey to the northeast.
Yeah, I think we probably should scout ahead and try to find Bremen's refugees.
Okay.
I'll go with you.
That's what I think we should be doing. I don't want to just hang out in Targos and wait.
Yep.
When there's still refugees out there that need help.
And we won't be too far, so we can all. I mean, it'll be a. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to see in the sky if it's flying to Tourmaline, right? Or to Targos, right?
Potentially, yeah. There's not a whole lot of trees around this area. And with the weather coming in, the cloud cover is obscuring a little bit. But I would like everyone to make a perception check as they look beyond the walls and towards Tourmaline.
Dirty 20.
A 7.
I got a 5.
I got a rock.
Got a rock.
You have a 14 or above. As you gaze into the northeast direction, you see the storm starting to roll in, and the light from the summer star is starting to dim at this point. You see the ray of this golden light just strafe across the ground coming from the sky, smoke rising. You're not exactly sure if that's Tourmaline or if that's Lonely Wood, that it's currently under attack. The distance is far too great to exactly determine that.
Even if your perception was a nat 20 plus 4?
Yes.
Just double checking. Okay.
Yeah, Andy's going to be on board with moving towards Bremen to see if there's the refugees to help them get back. And she's going to go to Silas and say, Big and I are going to scout ahead to see if we can escort Bremen evacuees back here.
If that's what you think is right, I trust you. Don't die.
I won't. I'll keep an eye on the sky and we'll come back if we see it coming.
And don't let Vega die either.
You know I won't, Silas.
Aw, I didn't think Silas cared.
Good. In order for us to have even a chance, we all have to be together. I would prefer we stay here. I think it is the best strategic point for us.
You're right, but the Bremen evacuees haven't made it here yet. We have to check.
I understand. You're a good person, Adriana. And that's why I give you my blessing. You may marry my son, Lek.
What?
Andy rolls her eyes, and she reaches out and gives his shoulder a squeeze and says, stay safe.
Of course.
Prodigal son, Lek. Adriana, do you mind if I accompany you?
Not at all.
All right. So as the group that is splitting from Targos starts to head out towards Bremen, the wind of this incoming storm starts to pick up and snow starts to drift across the path, obscuring your vision slightly. But you travel for about 15 minutes or so. And you hear the calling out of some individuals ahead of you. They are the refugees from Bremen. They had finally gotten word. They're starting to make their way to Bryn Shander.
Are they right there so we don't have to go after them?
This is like 15 to 20 minutes of travel.
Oh, great. Okay, yeah, we'll go escort them then.
Yeah, upon approaching them, I'm going to say, are you all together?
There are some stragglers, but we're on our way.
Wonderful.
What news of the front?
Most towns have gathered in Bryn Shander.
It's the dragons at Tourmaline now.
Okay, well, I don't want to be caught traveling while the dragon is making its rounds.
That's why we're here. I'll go for the stragglers, and she's gonna head towards the back to see if she can carry things or help them.
Yeah, I'm gonna help her with that too.
Easy enough.
I will do the same thing.
Same.
You guys make your way back with all the refugees from Bremen. It looks like most people are accounted for. There are a few individuals who wanted to go to other towns to try to meet up with friends and family that they might have on their own will, but the majority of Bremen's population is here.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
You arrive back into Targos, where Silas has been taking initiative and running command, and you see that a lot of the fortifications have been doubled up on. There are makeshift crossbow turrets that have been added in the last few minutes, or the last, I guess it'd be an hour since you guys have been gone. It looks like a lot of the retinue is whipping into shape. You count about 200 total, Silas.
Zizix, what can you do to make these crossbows or ballistas a bit more efficient?
Nothing really.
I was hoping you would have a bit more. You're the tinkerer, but fine.
I mean, I can only stretch my magic so far.
Understood. I appreciate you for at least recognizing your limitations. I'll help you surpass those one day, and maybe we'll kill a god. It'll be fun. Bonding exercise.
Yeah, sure.
Who all stayed with us? Was it Lysander or Eclipse?
Lysander, Eclipse, and I assume Armand Hammer?
Yep.
I would like to approach Lysander during all of this.
Okay.
Tin Man.
Yes.
I'm sure you don't trust me, right? You can be honest, you won't hurt my feelings. I hardly have any anymore.
Well, if I'm being honest, not really, but I trust what you're doing right now.
Perfect. Take this, and I'd like to hand him my pistol.
Okay.
If I have led you astray, or you think I'm betraying everyone, shoot me.
He's gonna look at the gun in his hand and back up at Silas and give him a nod of understanding.
I trust you'll make it quick and painless. I feel like I deserve that, but if you think I need to suffer, it's fine. I won't go down without a fight if you do make me suffer, though, so just be ready. But if you make it quick and clean, I'm perfectly fine with that. More dignified. And again, if I die, Adriana knows what to do with my body.
Understood.
Good. Eclipse.
Yes.
I respect the hell out of you. You know that, right?
Yes.
Good. This is going to be a very, very challenging battle for all of us. How would you feel about getting on top of this thing and fucking it up as much as possible?
I would thoroughly enjoy that.
Perfect. I should be able to make you fly. Let me double check.
Oh, give me a level, and then I'll fly.
No.
Dad, why not?
Rude.
Yeah, I can make her fly with my loot. So.
Yep.
Jesus.
And-
Okay.
So, when the time comes, just come to me. I am probably going to have to tap you on the shoulder. I hope that's okay. If not, I'll find another way.
That's totally fine.
Perfect. And you go up there and you just smack the fuck out of it, claw its eyes out, whatever you think is the best move.
Hell yeah.
Zizix is gonna raffle in his bag and toss Silas a potion and say, "Here, take this."
Oh, do we know what this one does or no?
That one gives the power of flight.
Oh,
Okay.
wonderful. Well, that'll work too if I decide to join you. Or you can take it and I can just make myself fly with the loot. Whatever. How would you prefer?
I'm good either way. I don't mind.
I'll give you the potion. That way I don't have to touch you. I'm sure you don't want that anyway, so... Arm and Hammer!
Yes, what can I do for you?
My oldest friend, Arm and Hammer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I am your older friend, Armand Hammer.
Yeah, do you feel like flying?
Well, I think I would like that very much.
Perfect. I'll touch you. You can fly there. Eclipse can take the potion. You can both just go up and really fuck up that dragon.
Well, that sounds great, but, you know, your older friend, Armand Hammer, he's really best at the hiding.
No. Then perhaps not flying. Can you hide behind a ballista?
I'm pretty sure I could hide almost anywhere.
Actually, better idea. I could make you invisible.
Oh, you know, your older friend Armand Hammer, he really likes that idea.
Perfect. I'll make you invisible. Eclipse, you can take the potion and fly. And I will shout at everyone, and if it gets close, I'll stab it with my rapier. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Oh, I've got your wand. Never mind. I'll be fine. Okay, well, I think that gives all of us something to do. Lysano, you can use that gun on the thing as well, but just save at least one for me should it be necessary. Shouldn't take more than one to put me down, honestly.
Okay.
If you really need to, just call me over and I'll put my mouth on the barrel. Not your barrel, but the barrel.
Right.
Wonderful.
Yeah, in that instance, if you're giving yourself up, there's no worries on like the damage and stuff. It's an execution.
Perfect.
Yep. That's fine. All right. Anything else?
I mean, I think that works for the plan for the people who were here, at least.
And then when Vega, Lek, and Andy return with refugees, I assume you guys are shuffling the refugees on and telling them to keep going to Bryn Shander, or are you telling them to hold here in Targos?
If they're going to hold here in Targos, they might be ready for a fight. If they want to run, they could perhaps get to Bryn Shander before all of us have a dragon mounting us. Choice is theirs.
As you've been running around through Targos and getting orders and getting things ready, you notice that Targos does not have the arms supply that Bryn Shander has readily available from Black Iron Blades. So anyone that may be even able to fight, you just may not be able to equip them.
Perfect.
So
send
those
them
are,
to Bryn Shander,
yes, they are moving to Bryn Shander. That would be most of their choices.
then. And as I'm looking around, can I, like, sweep the area and see if there's anything kind of fishy?
Make a perception check.
Perception, or could I do investigation?
This would be a perception.
Oh, thank God. Dirty 20.
So as you're running around town, around the town hall, you see flying snake leaving from the window. It's like a little messenger snake.
That's hella sus.
Yeah,
Sussy.
I'll see if I can get inside the room and see what the fuck's going on in there.
Stares in Dez.
Where was it? I'm sorry. I probably didn't see that.
No, you guys would have been not going around town as much as Silas would, so this is something he would have spotted going around giving orders.
Yep. I'll park it.
Yep, no worries. So as you make your way inside it, you can make your way inside the town hall. There seems to be no one there. You don't see anybody. There's a couple of rooms that have their door closed, but no one immediately in the vicinity.
Am I feeling like I'm being watched?
Let's give that a insight check. I feel like that applies.
Yeah, I'm paranoid as hell, if that is any indication for advantage, but if not, I understand.
I like that. Yeah.
$24.
You feel like you're being watched.
I'd like to cast Thunder Wave.
Okay. You use Thunder Wave and it just a whoosh of sound just emanates. You see that some papers strewn about the wall or pinned up on the wall fly off, and it hits something that isn't supposed to be there and then titters off into the ground.
Oh, wonderful. I'd like to pull out my rapier and go there and just stab into the air.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack with disadvantage.
$11 with the disadvantage.
That will still hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
$4.
With the 4 damage, the thing that you struck becomes visible, and you see a tiefling of Asmodeus down in front of you. He's stumbled down from your strike, and he looks up to you like really just amazed that he's been spotted. He says, "What do you want?"
Hi, Silas Nouvelle. I'm a fucking genius, if you hadn't gathered that. What the fuck are you doing here?
I would say it's my business, but you seem to have me at a disadvantage. Now, being as we are brethren of sorts, perhaps we can come to an accord.
Oh, perhaps. What did you have in mind?
I know the location of the Cauldron of Plenty.
Oh, that is very fascinating. Where is it?
That will be given to you.
Before he
Upon my
finishes,
release.
I'd like to just stab him in the throat.
Gurgling noises continue as he tries to choke up the words, but is impeded by some strange foreign object. And you see his eyes widen as he slowly starts to fall back off the blade. Lying dormant.
We'll have to speak with his corpse later, if we even survive. But it seems like they may have been right. There might have been a traitor in the midst. I'll go back out to the party and see if I can flag down Vega.
Yeah, after some time. But as you arrive to find Vega, you hear the crashing and you hear the noise of a gigantic ray of beam being crashed into buildings. As you look, you see the dragon has made its way to Bremen.
Okay, fuck, that's gonna have to wait. I will get into a position near Armin so that way we can start executing as soon as it's almost time.
You have a visual on the dragon at this point, even though this weather's coming in. You see it's over Bremen, and it seems to be circling around, and every so often another charged beam emits from the mouth of this beast and strikes down onto the ground. So it doesn't look like there's an imminent threat at this point.
Vega!
Oh yeah.
That room over there, I'll point over. There's a little tiefling fuck hiding invisibly, so there might be some kind of saboteur here. I took care of him. He says he knows where the Cauldron of Plenty is. I don't know if one of us has an ability to speak with a corpse, but I felt he was better useful not breathing currently.
It's fine.
Well, shit, that's a lot. We're gonna have to deal with that after the ensuing battle, though, I guess, because it's getting pretty close.
Wonderful. Just wanted to be upfront. I killed a man. Sorry.
That's.
I'll probably do it again, though, just so you know.
Yeah, well, we should probably kill the dragon first, so.
Yes, absolutely. Dragon first, then maybe another man. Who knows? I might feel frisky.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. All right. Appreciate you.
I'm gonna get the rolled up newspaper.
Smack.
So, as everyone seems to be battle ready at this point, kind of wait around as a group. Is everything that you've set out to do to make Targos as defensible as possible you've done? The easiest way to keep track of time at this point is the intervals between the crashing of buildings and the sound of the charged beam being rained down onto Bremen from above. You start to look around and you see that the dragon has now broke its circular path over Bremen and is starting to make its trek towards Targos. So, real quick 5-minute break before we get this started. Alright, I think we are ready, I assume. Is the rest of the party back? I've heard a couple people.
Hi.
Ready as we're gonna be.
We're ready.
I'm ready.
I've got another water. Let's do it.
Alright, I would like everyone at this point to roll initiative.
That checks out.
Natural fucking 20. Plus 2, 22.
Very nice. 22.
Hey, I got an 18.
18 for Andy. Oops.
I got a 15.
I also got a 15.
I got the 23.
Hold on, I got behind real quick. I'm sorry. Andy, what'd you get?
Sam?
18.
18. Eclipse.
15.
15. Zizix.
21.
21. Lysander got a 15.
Yes, sir.
Vega.
I literally got a 0.
Lek.
19.
19. Armand Hammer.
A 23.
23. Not 236. 23. All right.
So close to going first.
So, at this point now, you see the dragon is oncoming. It's flying directly into Targos' direction. And, let's see. As it starts to draw near, you see it with more clarity than you had previously. You see the wings beating against the wind, not straying whatsoever with the breeze that's at your back. It keeps a straight line. This thing has some power, and it seems to be flying very fast, as most adult dragons do. As it starts to get within 300 feet, you see the call for alarm with the other retinue here stationed here, up along the walls, manning the crossbows, getting people into shelter who wanted to stay or got held back for any reason. There's maybe a handful of them getting into buildings and hiding in cellars, doing what they can to get out of harm's way. You look back at this dragon. You see the glow in the neck, this yellow, ominous glow. And then, one thing you see coming from this dragon, you see its underbelly start to expand. And it expands, and you see it seemingly is opening up a hatch in the belly. As it glides high up into the air, you can see that there is a chamber of some sort inside of the belly of the beast. And as it gets closer to the perimeter of Targos, something falls out, followed by another thing, and another thing, and another. 15 things are falling out of the belly of this beast. As they fall, short time after departing the creature, cloth of some sort releases from those objects. You realize that the Duragar are paratrooping into town, or at least on the outskirts of town. They're about 300 feet away, slowly falling down to the ground as this Chardalyn dragon continues its approach. And it draws in nearer and nearer. And as it gets within, let's see, we'll call it 240 feet. Most of that, it's about 100 feet in the air, so roughly 120 feet out straight from the walls, from the town. The first one up is going to be Armand Hammer.
Well, since I know what my friend Silas is gonna do, I'm just gonna wait for him to make me invisible.
Okay. Very good.
Well, thank you.
Next up will be Silas.
All right, yes. I'll use my DOS loot to make him invisible.
All right.
And that will last for 60 minutes or until I lose concentration on him.
All right. Sounds good.
And then looking to Eclipse, I'll shout some inspiring words to her just so she's ready. Just something very poetic, like, "Don't fucking die!"
Wow.
And then I'll run down to the bottom floor and be ready to meet any fucking Durgar that tries to get in here.
Okay. Make your way over towards the gate where you believe they'll be funneling into, as they are seemingly landing outside of the walls. Next up is the Charlatan Dragon. And the dragon is going to maintain its altitude at about 120 feet. And it will look straight down at the city. And this golden light emanates from the throat as its mouth opens. It emits the large beam into the town, and it rips into 1, 2, maybe 3 buildings as it sprawls across the ground. And the Charlatan Dragon continues to circle around the outskirts of Targos.
We have to disable that thing.
Next up is Lek.
And I would like to say that as the dragon was spotted on approach, Lek would have found a spot atop the wall.
Okay.
So yeah, at this point, let's say I got on the wall that was closest to the direction the dragon was headed from. How far away in feet would the dragon be from me at this point?
Roughly 120 feet.
Okay, well that makes this fairly simple. So Lek is going to shoot 2 Eldritch Blasts in the direction of the old dragon.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Alright, don't mind if I do. Alright, the first one was pretty sad. 12.
That will miss.
And the second is only slightly better, a 13. God
And
damn it.
that too will miss as 2 Eldritch Blasts fire from Lek. Missing wide as this dragon is just flying very fast. You're not able to keep up with the tracking of the target, and you fire behind it.
I'll turn to one of the Targos guys next to me. Well, he was kind of far away, so... And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Andy?
He's about 120 feet away, correct?
Yeah, give or take.
In that case, Andy is going to cast a 3rd level guiding bolt, and she's aiming right at that mouth to try and disable the shooter.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna use my inspiration and re-roll that.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, 26 to hit.
That will definitely hit.
Great. Wow, I did not roll above a 3 on a single damage die, so that's 11 damage.
What type of damage?
From guiding bolt, it's...
Is that radiant? I feel like that's radiant
I
coming
think
from
it is
you.
radiant. Let me see if it says, because I didn't see... Radiant, yes.
And how much of it, sorry?
11 radiant damage.
Okay.
And then, let me see if I have... I feel like I'm forgetting something that I can do here. No, it has to be a weapon attack, so no, I'm not forgetting anything.
Okay.
Nope, yep, I'm not forgetting anything, that's all.
All right. Now it's the Durgar outside. All of them are using their actions to land, which I'm going to say cost them about half their movement. Dismount the parachutes and start growing into ogre-sized creatures as they start to enlarge themselves. And as they start to do that, the militia of Targos starts to fire on them with arrows. Let's see how successful they are in that endeavor. They're at quite a bit of range, so a lot of these arrows are flying a little bit wide, falling a little short, but a few are making contact, especially now that some of the Duergar have enlarged themselves and made themselves bigger targets as they start to come in. But this advantage, as slight as it seems, may be more of a disadvantage as the battle draws nearer to them. Next up will be Eclipse.
Okay. Where am I at currently?
You're inside of town, around all the others, except for Lek, who's on the wall, trying to provide anti-air support. So you're within about 120 feet of the dragon, as it's about 100 feet off the ground or so. Triangulation isn't exactly correct, but I'd say 120 feet. And then the oncoming 20 Duergar are coming, and they will be about 100 feet away at this point as they moved up.
On this potion of flight that I have, does it have like a how high I can fly like stipulation?
Not how high you can fly, but I believe flying speed is what, 50 feet or is it 60?
I think it's 60, isn't it?
Yeah, most are 60 feet on those things.
So you'd be able to travel 60 feet with your normal movement, and then if you were to dash or anything like that, you could double it to 120.
Sorry, was that the potion that I gave you, or gave Silas?
Yes.
Then your flat speed is 10.
Oh shit.
Oh, I thought that was much better. Shit, sorry.
Fuck.
Sorry, it's a really crappy flat potion. It just allows you to fly, that's all.
Is it even a fly? It's more like a levitate.
Okay. Oh well, shit. In that case,
Sabotaging me. I'm just saying it.
she's just gonna hold her position for now.
Okay. Lysander.
How far is the dragon at this point?
120.
Damn. And the Duergar?
About 100. And they're closing in.
And one of them has taken damage?
Yeah.
Okay. Bonus action, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on that one.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to... And he is within 100, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to try to shoot him with my laser rifle.
Go for it.
14.
14 will miss.
Damn.
Anything else?
No.
So the onslaught of battle is ongoing. Arrows and bolts are flying towards the Duergar, as well as laser pistols, laser rifles. Everything's being fired at them with as best accuracy as they can provide at the moment. But they are still slowly making their way up. Next up will be Vega.
Hey, all right. Okay, couple questions. One, did the storm make it to us? Is it currently stormy here?
I wouldn't say it's stormy yet. It's breezy.
Okay. Second question, are there any Diragar directly under where the dragon is flying right now?
No.
Damn, be a lot cooler if there were.
Well, just wait a turn when it makes its circle.
Right. Okay, are there any Diragar within 5 feet of each other?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's
I
see.
assume.
The biggest cluster that you can find is a cluster of 3.
Perfect. I'm going to call lightning on those 3 fucks.
Okay. And that's a dex save, I believe.
Yes, it is.
I got a 5, an 11, and a 19.
The 19 saves, so he will take half.
Okay.
No stormy conditions, so reroll. Holy fucking terrible roll. That's 7 full damage.
Oh, hate to see it.
Yeah.
7, 7, 7. Oh, that guy takes 7. Okay. Anything else?
I guess not at the moment.
All right. Back to the top of the order with Armand Hammer.
Well, since these guys there are charging into the city, I would like to run out towards them.
Okay.
And find a place to hide.
Okay.
Even though I'm invisible, I like it to hide.
Understood. Easy enough. You find a few barrels that you're able to duck behind.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Anything else?
Well, now that you mention that, I will use my reaction to hold my action.
Okay.
And when if one of them comes within 30 feet of me, I will shoot it with my crossbow.
All right. Very good. Next up will be Silas.
So the dragon's about 120 feet above us?
Yes.
Magic missile.
All right. Is that a cluster of 3?
I mean, you're the DM, so that gave it to us.
Yeah, I believe normally just magic missile is a cluster of 3, right?
It's 3 plus 1 per level.
Okay, so 4.
44.
All right, give me a moment.
All right.
That'd be 11 damage because it's 44 plus 1.
Okay. That is force damage, I believe. Or is it not?
Yeah,
Okay, it is.
just on the dragon.
Very good. Anything else?
Can I inspire multiple people at once, or do I have to wait for Eclipse to use it?
I believe you're able to inspire multiple people at once, yes.
Next inspiration for oh god, Lek.
Aw, shucks.
All right, Zizix, you're up.
All right. How far are the Durgar away?
100 feet.
Okay, seeing them on the ground, I'm gonna help out the ground assault. So I will shoot Chaos Bolt at the first one or the one that's closest to me.
Okay.
That's a 12.
That will unfortunately miss. Anything else?
I'm gonna try and find some cover.
All right. It's not too hard to find. There's carts, barrels, stuff like that. A little bit of a. You can get cover behind a building if that's what you want to.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go behind the building.
Okay. And next up is the Chardelin Dragon. Let's roll a d6 and see if that breath weapon recharges.
Fuck.
It does not. So, what he will do with his flight is he will continue to circle around the perimeter of town as he's starting to edge closer towards the gates. Getting a little bit lower now. He's about 90 feet from the air, or from the ground. He's circling around back towards the front gates where the Durgar are starting to storm. And that brings us to Black.
Okay, I am going to fire off 2 more Eldritch Blasts at the dragon.
Okay,
And
roll your
hopefully have
attack.
better luck.
Remember to use Bardic Inspiration if you don't like the result.
First blast is a
17.
17.
That just hits.
All right, let me get that damage roll. $11 damage. Force damage.
Mm-hmm.
And blast number 2.
All right.
$24.
That definitely will hit.
13 damage.
Very good.
And then I'll turn back to the Targos guy next to me, and I'll say, "See, now that he's closer, I'm much better." And thus ends my turn.
All right. Andy, you are next.
Okay, is Lex still standing like on the wall?
Yes.
Up on a wall. So he's in kind of a open position.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay. She's gonna take a look down and see the Durgar at the gates and decide that's kind of a better place for her to be, given her specialties. But before she goes, she's going to pass by Lek and place a hand on his shoulder and say, "Be careful, I'm going below to get them off the gate." And she'll cast Shield of Faith on Lek, which will it's a shimmering field that appears and surrounds a creature of your choice within range, granting a +2 bonus for AC for up to 10 minutes. It's concentration, so if I go down, it goes.
Thank you, Adriana. I'm really feeling loved right now.
She'll kind of grin at him and then head down to the gates. And I assume are the gates fairly close to where she is?
Yeah, it's within sprinting or running distance.
Great. She's gonna just attack the closest Duragar with her warhammer.
Yep. As you make it to the gate, the other Duragar are just arriving, so that'll trigger your attack and also Armand Hammer's attack. And I believe Zizek's held an attack as well.
Oh,
or did you already
yay.
fire?
I got a 25.
Yeah, that will definitely hit.
Great. And that's gonna be 6 damage because my damage dice suck ass today.
Though that is enough to take down one of the enlarged Duragar.
Ha! Fucker.
For my attack, do I have any kind of advantage since I'm invisible and hiding?
Yes.
So the highest I got was a 26 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
Great.
And that would be sneak attack, I assume?
Well,
He chooses
is
to apply
there
it.
is there anyone within 5 feet of them?
As you're making your attack, you see Andy is within a cluster of a couple of them.
Great. Then that is a total of 20 damage.
And that will be enough to fell that Duragar. 2 down, 18 to go.
How many to go?
18?
Okay.
You've got an army on your side too.
It's fun.
So it will be the Duragar turn. And let's see, there was a cluster of 3 on Andy. She took 1 down. 1 went down from Armand Hammer. So the remaining 1 will take a swing at you, Andy. Will
That's
be
fine.
utilizing its war pick. And that is a 23 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits.
That will be... Oh, that's 2d8, because he's big. 11 piercing damage.
Alrighty.
Let's see. And then these Duragar, as they start to... Let's see. A few of these did not enlarge and they turn invisible. But the rest start to take their war picks to the walls and start trying to break them down. Like the walls of Jericho.
I'm fighting all of my urges to make a VeggieTales reference right now.
No, you should. You should.
We're good Christian
No,
boys.
it would involve singing in a French accent and all. It's just too much. It's fine.
All right. So the Duragar in their enlarged state are able to swing up and hit at the top level of the wall. And a number of the retinue start taking their hits and falling backwards. A couple of them get shoved off the top of the wall with the war picks, kind of like in a jousting motion. And they fall off and fall prone, some of them getting back up, some of them not. But then at the last moment, you start to see the Duragar break away from the walls after doing some initial damage and giving a little bit of room for some reason. Next up will be Eclipse.
Are there any Durgar near me?
Within 30 feet of you, yes.
Okay, cool. I want to do one of my Breath of the Dragon attacks.
Alright.
So you said they're within 30 feet?
Yes. That's a straight line, your dragon's breath, right?
Yes.
Okay. You can nab 3
It's
of them
5.
in one line.
Okay. It's also 5 foot wide, if that matters.
Yep, that's good.
So that's a dex save.
Okay, 3 dex saves coming up. I've got a 13, a 17, and an 18.
And they all save.
Damn.
Fuck.
Half damage or no damage?
Oh, it is half damage, so give me a sec.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's half of a 7.
3.
3, perfect.
Alright, one of them goes down.
Yes!
Anything else?
That'll do.
Vega.
Okay. Do I still see multiple Dirigar clumped up that I can hit with that lightning?
Yeah, you
And
see...
more important question, is the dragon within range of the lightning yet?
The dragon is within range of the lightning. It is 90 feet off the ground and towards the Durigar, which would be in the vicinity of your call lightning.
So is it possible to get the dragon and one or more Dirigar?
You can get
with
the
the symbol?
dragon plus 2 Durigar as well.
Bet. Alright, I will do the shit out of that. So dex save from all 3 of them.
Okay. The 2 Durigar will roll first with a 7 and a 19.
19 will save.
The dragon will have a 18.
That'll save 2. So 1 Dirigar takes all of it, the other 2 take half. Let me roll.
Okay.
That is 15 total damage.
Okay, very good.
Sure better than last time.
Anything else?
No, sadly, the only bonus action spells I have are for healing, and no one really needs that yet.
Alright. Arm and hammer?
Yeah, so there's still some that are visible, right?
Yes.
Great. Then I would like to walk right up to one and try and stab him with my rapier.
Okay. Roll your attack.
That's a 16.
That will just hit.
So on my rapier attack, that's a 7 damage.
Okay, very good.
And
That
then
one
I
is still
will
up.
bonus action my hand crossbow. That's only a 12 to hit.
That will not hit.
Great. And then I'm going to go ahead and walk away from him.
Okay. Opportunity attack?
Well, I'm still invisible.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Did you roll with advantage?
I did not. Let me do that. So the rapier still a hit, and that was not a natural 20.
Okay.
Oh, But the hand crossbow, that's now a 26.
That will now hit.
Great. And that's going to be another 6 damage.
And that's enough to put him down. So this big
Perfect.
towering ogre-sized Duragar falls down to your crossbow. Go ahead and describe
Great.
your fatality, since I forgot to be doing this.
That's okay. I'm going to just stab him with my rapier, and then as I start to walk away, just look back and fire off a hand crossbow from my father's hand crossbow. And then I'm going to run off and snicker to myself about how great of a job I just did.
All right. Silas,
Since these guys are just falling down out of nowhere.
That comes to you.
Hey, real quick, Sam, I didn't get a turn that last round.
Oh, did I skip over you? I'm sorry.
That's alright.
Yeah, you're supposed to go after Eclipse. Go ahead.
Okay. How far is the dragon from me now?
90 feet, roughly.
Great. I'm going to bonus action switch my hunter's mark over to the dragon.
Yep.
And I'm going to take aim with the laser rifle.
All right, give it a shot.
That's a 7.
Fires wide.
Yep, I'm going to use my extra attack, try again.
Okay.
Also 7. Fuck.
Fires wide. Takes some getting used to this laser rifle. The kickback's a little weird.
Yeah.
Just wait till next time.
Yeah, and like, soon.
Silas.
What is around me that I'm aware of? Is it just the dragon?
You have the dragon up above, and then you have the Duragar that are starting to flood into the gates. And you have seen a couple of them go invisible.
Oh, wonderful. I'd like to run at least towards the ones that I believe where they might be invisible. Can I look for like footprints in the snow?
Sure can. Give me a perception check.
Not great, that's a 9.
Yeah, you're not able to... You see footprints in the snow, but then you also see footprints afterwards, so you're not really seeing the active footprints being made at this point. They may not be in yet.
Fuck it, Thunderwave.
Okay. That is a con save, I believe?
Yes, of 16.
Okay. Let's see how many are in that vicinity. All right. Two save.
I'll roll the damage just in case.
Yes, roll damage.
Those that fail take 15. Those that succeed would take the 7.
So 2 of them saved, and then 2 of them failed. So immediately on your left, you see coming back into visibility 2 Duragar who are in their normal size at the moment, taking the whole brunt of that thunder wave. Do they also go prone?
They get pushed 10 feet away from me.
Pushed 10 feet, okay. Very good. Anything else?
Yes, bonus action. I'd like to look over towards Lysander and kind of shout, "I've seen you shoot better! Do that!" And give him inspiration.
All right.
I love
good.
his inspirations.
Such backhanded inspiration.
Zizix, you're up.
Zizix is gonna yell out to Lysander. He's gonna say, Lysander, do you Are you willing?
Lysander literally just stepped away from the table. But I will speak for him. He is willing.
What is consent?
So Zeus is gonna like pull both of his hands back, like he's going in for a bear hug, and then just smack his hands together with a loud clap, and cast Enlarge on Lysander.
Nice.
So he's now doubled in size. He gets advantage on strength saves and strength checks, and gets an extra 1d4 of extra damage on any attacks.
Oh my god, we've turned him into a Gundam.
Yes. We just need to give him flat now, and then he's there.
Oh god.
Hey, he's back. If you can repeat what that does to him.
Yeah, so Nick, you're now twice as the size, so you've gone from a medium creature to a large creature. You get advantage on strength saves and strength checks, and you get 1d4 extra damage.
Hell yeah.
And you have Bardic Inspiration.
Anything else, Zizix?
I'm going to tell Pointy to take flat and just kind of be my eyes.
Okay. Next up is the Chardalyn Dragon. As it continues its turn, you see the Duragar starting to pull back from the wall. You see that yellow glow emitting from the throat of the beast. And it unleashes its radiant breath. And 120 feet span of that wall is directly attacked with that beam.
I tap 2 islands and cast Mana Leak. Can't do that.
Oh. So, Lek, as you are the only one on that wall, I need you to make a dex saving.
Oh, damn.
That would be an 11.
Okay. You'll take the full brunt of the damage.
Oh boy.
It is 37 points of radiant damage.
That is significant.
God, who just took that?
Lek.
Do you remember your +2 to AC, right?
It's
Did
a
that
save.
help?
It's a dex save.
Oh shit.
I'm still alive, if that helps. Did you say 37?
37 to be exact, yes. And with that, because this creature is considered a siege monster, the wall takes double the damage and is essentially incinerated. And so, Lek, I need you to make another dexterity saving throw at disadvantage, as you are now falling into the debris.
This is cool.
That's one word.
Wow, I rolled a 4 and a 2, so guess I'll take that too. That's a 4.
You'll
total.
take 3 points of falling damage on top of the 37 for a nice flat 40.
What's up? Still alive? Yeah. Not by much, though. I have 1 point of health.
Holy shit, snacks.
And with the rest of its movement, it continues to circle, heading towards the backside of Targos at this point in its trajectory. Which brings us to Lek.
Hey! Wow! Wow! Okay, cool. Well, since he just did that crazy shit, he must be kind of close, right?
He was 90 feet, and then he started to ascend back to about the 120 feet mark as he went back towards the edge of town on the backside.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know since I fell if I can do this still, but can I do reaction?
What would your reaction be?
No, it was going to be Hellish Rebuke.
Oh! What's the range on that?
Well, 60 feet, so I guess it depends on how close he was when he
was no closer than 90. His beam goes through 120 feet, so it destroyed like 60 foot of wall.
Son of a bitch. Okay, that's all right. Okay, well, wow. Oh, man. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and cast Armor of Agathis, because your boy needs some hit points. There we go, to give me some temporary health and such. And, that's gonna be, is the guy from Targos who was next to me, is he dead, probably?
Yes.
Then Lek will turn towards the dragon and say, damn you, you killed! Son of a bitch, I never got his name. And that's the end of my turn.
Alright. Next up would be Andy.
Is Andy surrounded by any Durgar at the moment?
No, not at the moment. They're probably about 20 feet away from him at this point. I assume you moved away from the wall debris a little bit.
I meant Andy as in my character.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I thought she was looking out for you.
Adriana. Well, she is about to look out for him. She's just, I need to see if there's going to be an opportunity attack.
I believe there is one that is still around you. Yes.
Okay. In that case, if it's just one, I'm going to take the opportunity attack.
Okay.
And Andy is going to close the distance. Is she within 30 feet of Lek?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. She's gonna get to Lek and cast a second level. She's gonna crouch next to him and like put her hands on him and cast a second level Cure Wounds.
Okay. That is a 22 against your AC.
That does hit.
Okay. That is 18 piercing damage.
Oh shit! That was one hell.
These guys get
On
double
the
damage
hit.
dice for being enlarged.
Oh god. Okay.
And you happen to run past an invisible Durgar.
Shit.
But he misses with a 7.
Whew. Okay.
So as you're
yeah.
running by, a Durgar just appears right to your left, or directly to your left, as you make your way past and dodge his immediate attack and getting your way to Lek.
Yeah, Andy will just turn and like when she hears the crumbling of the wall, she's gonna turn and see what's going on with Lek and just run that way and take the hit. And then dodge the other guy. And she's gonna kind of climb over the debris, and this is gonna change the spell I cast though, because I just took a fuck ton of damage too. So instead of Cure Wounds, she's gonna cast. Let's see, the only multi-healing spell I have is Mass Healing Word. And that's not very much, so no, she's going to cast a second level Cure Wounds just on Lek.
Okay. With
And
that,
she's going to say, are you okay?
I am now that you're here, but that was much closer than I would have hoped it to be.
Yeah, this is not my favorite fight. And she's going to give him 16 hit points back while compressing her new sword wound.
Yeah, it's funny because Lek, if you had one more point of damage from your falling damage, I would have described you being impaled by the wooden debris.
Wow.
That
Oh,
close.
shit.
Oh
Would've
my
been
god.
That close.
Shit.
Fuck.
Survivable, of course.
Fuck.
But
not easy.
Oh, yeah. Everyone can survive a good impaling.
All right. So at this point, with the wall being destroyed, the Duergar, who wisely backed away from the wall to give way from the Chardalyn Dragon's beam, they start to charge outside of the gate, in through the debris, climbing over with their massive size. And they start to finish off any of the retinue that was on the wall that may have survived with killing blows from their javelins, just being thrust into the chests and moving forward and moving on. The remaining retinue that's on the ground, they look back and forth, they look to Silas, and one of them asks, should we sound the retreat? Should we get out of here?
Keep fighting.
Make a persuasion check.
$22.
All right. And he looks, he kind of visibly gulps, and he nods. And he yells, "Hold the line!" And the remaining retinue that was not on the wall charges forth to try to keep fighting the Duergar while they're standing in the debris and in difficult terrain. And that brings us to Eclipse.
Okay. Any new Duergar near me?
Yes. There are a number of them crossing the line. So there are a number within distance. But then there are also invisible ones you may not be seeing actively.
Okay, then I definitely want to do a Breath of the Dragon again, just to see how many I can clear out.
Okay.
Oh, right. Dex saves again.
So let's give me. Right. Okay, it looks like 2 out of the number of dice that I rolled will save.
Sorry.
Roll your damage.
So for the ones that saved, that would be half of 11, so 5.
Yep.
Cool.
And then the other 3, because you placed it really well,
Yeah.
knock 3 Duergar out of their invisibility, and a handful of them actually fall.
Nice.
Yes.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Next is Lysander.
All right. And how far is the dragon from me at this point?
He would be about 120 feet now, as he's ascended a bit from his dive.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and focus my attention on these Duergar.
Okay.
Now that I'm huge and feeling charged up and inspired, I'm going to take aim at bonus action back on a damaged Duergar and take aim with my laser rifle.
All right. Shoot your shot. It's now a laser cannon with your enlarged size.
Cool. Does that give me any more?
A D4 extra.
Cool.
From Sizzix.
That's an 11 to hit. Fuck.
Still misses wide, unfortunately.
Extra attack. Come on.
Remember, you have inspiration as well.
All right. That's a D6 to add to my roll. That would be a 17 to hit.
That will just hit. I'm sorry, that will hit, not just hit.
Sweet. Okay. So...
So you'll roll your normal damage and a extra D4.
That'll be 27 damage.
Oh boy, go ahead and describe your fatality. Is this Duragar just evaporates from the light, from the bolt of laser.
So I'm gonna take aim and feeling very mighty right now. Just evaporate him and reload. Take aim at the next one and fire again for my extra attack.
It's like cornering a roach with a can of Raid right now.
Yeah. And that one will be 21 to hit.
That will hit as well.
And that's... Oh. That is 22 damage.
That one goes down as well.
I'm gonna look at my laser rifle very proudly, thinking, now we're cooking.
Anything else?
That is all for this round.
Vega.
All right. How far away from me are Andy and Mirandy?
Probably within 20 feet of where you were, because they were fairly close to the entrance as well. Lek was on the wall, but now he's on the ground.
Wonderful. They are going to see a little transparent elephant appear in front of them. And I'm going to yell back, "That's a healing spirit. Take fucking turns."
Oh, that's funny.
And that was my bonus action. And that'll be each time you start your turn there or pass into it on your turn. Yep. You get 1d6 hit points, and it can be used, it looks like, 5 times.
Yep, because they changed the meta from when the time that Derek would abuse that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was nice.
It was. Made it really easy to heal up without a short rest in dungeons out of combat.
Yeah, that was great. Okay, and then as my action, let's see, is the dragon still flying above any...
It is
Duragar?
Away from the Duragar.
What a bitch. Are there any Duragar still clumped up?
Let's see. Yeah, there is actually a group of 4 Duragar within 5 feet of each other.
Fucking bet. Okay. Then I'm gonna call down some lightning on them.
Alright.
So what are them dex saves?
Them are a 13, a 14, a 10, and a 9.
Oh shit, they all failed.
Roll that sweet damage.
I will roll that beautiful beam damage. Hey, the storm hasn't randomly rolled in, has it?
Nope.
Damn, that'd be icing on the
It's
cake.
literally been 30 seconds.
Oh, well then, yeah, that makes sense. I forget how quick these rounds are supposed to actually be.
Right.
That's 17 total damage.
Okay, very good. 3 of those are downed by your lightning, so go ahead and describe your fatality.
So yeah, I cast that my little helpful elephant friend and yelled that back at them. Then I'm going to say, and as for you, and call the lightning down, and hopefully 3 of them just like catch fire and fall the fuck over.
For me, sounds good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I'm going to say to myself just in my own head, damn, I bet that looked really cool.
Armand Hammer.
That's me. So, there's some still visible.
Yes.
Okay, great. Then I would like to walk over to one, but I'll take my time, and I would like to try and stab him.
All right. Roll your attack with advantage.
Oh, that's a good time for advantage with that natural one. That's a 26 to hit.
Nice.
That's 7 points of piercing damage.
Okay, he is still up.
Right, then I will a bonus action hand crossbow. That's a natural 20.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big whopping 7 damage.
On the crit? Oh.
Yep, I rolled really bad.
But lucky enough, it's still enough to put him down. Describe your fatality.
I would just like to shoot him with the crossbow, and as he falls, I will whisper to him, "I'm on the hammer," and then I will walk away.
All right, Silas?
So, am I still surrounded by Duragar, and how close is the dragon?
So the lightning strike took out a number of Duragar that were in your immediate vicinity. You count 4 Ogre Duragar still standing. Unknown exactly if there are any invisible still remaining, as Eclipse took out a number of them as well. And the dragon is about 120 feet towards the back of town. The opposite direction of where the Duragar are.
Okay. So I think at this point, I think I'm gonna drop Invisible on Armand and use my loot to cast Fly on Eclipse.
Okay.
Oh shit.
And
You cut out.
and with a bonus action, Eclipse, are you still inspired?
Yes, I should be.
Okay. I'm gonna shout over to Lek and just say, "That looked like it hurt a lot!" And I'll cast Healing Word.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
I was at 2nd level, so that's 11 HP back for Lek. And that's
Nice.
And that brings us to Zizix.
Okay. This is going to probably be painful. There's a whole bunch of Durga still kind of piled up on each other, right?
There's 4 in relative vicinity to each other. Are you looking for them to be grouped?
Possibly.
Okay. Well, let me know, and I'll find out.
Are they kind of within, I guess, 10 feet of each other?
Let's see. 2 are within 10 feet of each other.
Alright. So Zilix is gonna kind of wind his arm up like he's about to throw a baseball. And as he makes his release over there, he's going to cast Flaming Sphere. Wait, no, I can't do that. Wait, hang on. No, I can't do that. Crap. I will cast Chaos Bolt at the closest one.
Okay. Roll to attack.
That would be a 23.
That will hit.
Ooh, nice. That's 14. And because I got doubles on my dice, it will also jump to the next one.
Okay.
So that would be... Oh, hang on. For some reason my damage... So my spell is 2d8 plus 1d6, but the damage roll only did 2d8. So...
Just roll an extra d6.
Yeah.
And then what type of damage was the Chaos Bolt? Because that could be different, right?
Yeah, that's going to... let's go with poison damage.
Okay.
So he'll take 18 points of poison damage.
Okay.
And then the next one...
He is still standing.
Okay, that's okay. So I get to make a new attack roll on the next one.
Yep.
Within... So the guy closest to him.
Alright.
That'll be 13 to hit.
And I believe that is a miss.
Okay.
Alright, anything else?
And that will end my turn.
Okay. That brings us to the Chardalyn Dragon. As you guys glance up to see its position, you see that yellow glow emanating from its throat yet again as it unleashes another radiant breath onto the buildings of town, and it takes out a whole row of houses and just barely takes out the corner of the town hall. You notice with the movement that the dragon is leaving Targos and heading for Bryn Shander. And that's going to be where we end for the night.
Shit.
Son of a bitch!
Oh, man.
Classic.
Oh.
Well, hey, we didn't
fight.
die.
You didn't die.
No one
well,
died.
Almost.
Okay, ended the night with
Not
13
yet.
hit points.
1 point away. Damn.
But did you die?
Sure
Not
did.
yet.
I got.
No.
I got most. I got
Andy
a lot of my points
Fucking
back.
has Lex back. Okay.
Maybe it's not about the hit points, but maybe it's more so about the spells that were used for this battle that's now been delayed. You guys might be fighting in a deficit when you go catch it in Bryn Shander, as it flies much faster than you can, and Eclipse, you're flying, at least while you're traveling now.
Holy shit.
Oh, man. I never employed Sonar into battle. Damn it.
He's fine, just watching.
If anyone can haste Eclipse, she could just go bonk it.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, I could have done that, I guess.
It's
Well,
okay.
we at least bought the refugees time to get to town.
That's true.
yeah, very much true. You guys did good. But I hope you guys all had fun. I know I did. This was a good session. We'll be back, well, maybe next week, depending on what everyone's Thanksgiving schedule comes to be. If not, the week after for part 2 of the Downfall of the 10 Towns. Thank you
Fucking
guys.
next week.
Fucking next week.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Night, everybody.